What is up, my friends? It's another match day here on Anfield Agenda. The Reds travelling down to take on Brentford. Of course, we are about an hour and 10 minutes away from kickoff. The team news is confirmed. It is, as you see on the screen. Of course, we are somewhat guessing at the formation, but we think it's another 4-4-2. We'll figure it out, though, along the way. So, the starting 11 that we can confirm is George Mamardashvili in goal, Bradley at right back, Milos Kerkez at left back, centre-back pairing of Canale and your captain Virgil van Dijk. Midfield, we believe, of Florian Wirtz, Dominic Szoboszlai, Cody Gakpo, and of course Curtis Jones, and up top Ugo Ekitike and Mohamed Salah. There is no Ryan Gravenberch in the squad today. There is also, who else is missing? Ryan Gravenberch is missing, as well as Alexander Isak. They're not in the squad. We also know Frimpong and Alisson are out. So the bench today for Liverpool is Woodman, Gomez, Endo, Maka, Chiesa, Robbo, Nioni, Morrison, and Rio Ngamoa. So let's pick the bones out of that one, folks, and see how we're all feeling. Yes, I do have a cold. I have a cold, yeah, defo. It always happens to me when I come home from holidays, you know, when you go from warm weather and you come back and then you're into the Irish winter. So, yeah, a bit of a head cold, but other than that, not feeling too bad, to be honest. Bit by bit, the arm's starting to feel a little bit better. So, yeah, just excited for another game tonight. I can't believe I'm about to utter these words, but Manchester United are currently sitting in 4th place in the Premier League, folks. 4th! So we've got to make sure we win tonight to, well, we can't be behind the Manx, so a win tonight very much needed. 3-0, Brian Mbeumo with a goal, thank you. So I've gone big. Those of you who are in our WhatsApp will know what I'm talking about. I've gone big today on Mohamed Salah. I'm so confident that Mohamed Salah is going to score today. You know, some days you just get a feeling. I woke up today, and as soon as I woke up, almost like that, popped into my head, Salah's going to score. So I lumped €250 on Salah to score today. So keep your fingers crossed for me, because I've got a feeling today's the day he finds the back of the net. So, yeah, keep your fingers crossed for me. And the other interesting bets you guys have on, of course, do let us know. Look, we expected that it was going to be Salah to start alongside Ekitike, as much as many of us thought Chiesa probably deserved the nod. And also Andy Robertson is another one that I think we might have got a hint from Arna during the week, because he did say that Kerkez has started the Premier League games majority of the time. So, yeah. What were the odds? 6-5. 6-5. So I thought they were decent enough odds for Salah to score. So I thought, you know what? It's worth a punt. Just had that feeling when I woke up. Do you think it's 4-4-2 or 4-3-3, Craig? Honestly, dude, I don't know. I don't know. You know, with the players we have out, it could be either. You know, you could easily look at that as a 4-3-3 or a 4-4-2. So the truth is, at the moment, I don't know. We're just going to have to wait to see the lads on the pitch and see if we can figure it out. I hope it's a 4-4-2, though, because a 4-4-2 sounds interesting again to me. It certainly worked midweek for us, and, you know, why change something that's not broken? Some bet, Craig. I haven't put on a bet in ages. Like, I've put on a few fivers and tenors. Like, I just, something today, my gut feeling said Salah's going to score, Craig. And usually when my gut feeling says something like that, it just makes me back it. So I did. Jonathan Kirkley, thank you, bro. Member with us now for 12 months, a whole year, dude. Thank you so much for being with us. Appreciate your support. So let me know what your thoughts are on the starting 11. We'll run through the Brentford starting 11 for you now. Caoimhín Kelleher in goal. Then it's Kayode, Collins, Vandenberg, and IR making up the back four. Midfield of Damsgaard, Yarmolenko, and Jordan Henderson. And then up top is Shada, Thiago, and Utara. So that is the Brentford starting 11. Of course, the Liverpool 11 you can see is on the screen there now. Anders said, I have a Salah hat-trick. Somebody else, I think Paul, if you're watching, shout out Paul, in our Discord, he felt a Salah hat-trick today. I don't know, I don't want to be that confident, you know, I'll take just the one, will do. No, my luck, here's what's going to happen. Salah's either going to hit the post, or he's going to score and it's going to be ruled out by VAR. So sometimes when I put a bet on, I know in the first 10 minutes, I don't know how, but if somebody hits a post, oh no, that's it, you're not winning. So, yeah, keep your fingers crossed for me. Coyotes, one to watch for me. Dangerous, said Gurney player. Hope Milos can contain him. Yeah, look, we should be going to Brentford and expecting a win. Let's be honest about it. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, because it's not. But we need to get back to winning ways. We picked up our points in the Champions League during the week, and today the boys have got to double down on that, build on it, and head into the game against Crystal Palace in the League Cup midweek with some more confidence. And then, of course, we've got a game at home, Aston Villa, next Saturday, 8 p.m. Haris said, Salah closer to goal, would rather have Fede start, he deserves it. Look, I understand. And like I've said, you've seen my predicted 11 midweek, mate. I'm with you. I would have went for Chiesa, but I always had a feeling Salah was going to play today. And I also hope that if he is in a 4-4-2, he can be closer to goal. I was looking at a heat map that Sky Sports put up during the week of Salah last season and Salah this season. And the one big difference is there's nowhere near as many touches for Salah in the opposition penalty area so far this season as there was last season. He's been very isolated on that right-hand side. You can see with the heat map. And I can't drag it out. I don't know why the heat map won't drag out for me, but I wish I could show it to you. For some reason, yeah, it just won't drag out for me off WhatsApp. Usually it does. Let me see if I can save it another way. Sprina, could you turn off the heating for me, Sarka? Thank you. Let's see if it drags into the desktop. If it saves there for me. Is this it? Yeah, I think this is it. So there you go. Perfect. So there you can see, right, the heat map for this season and last season for Mo. The one on the left is this season. The one on the right is last season. And as you can clearly see, there isn't as much red inside the opposition penalty area for Mo this season as there was last season. Last season, yes, he was in a lot of wide positions on the right, but as you can see there via that image, he was getting far more touches inside the opposition penalty area than he has been so far this season. Coldman said, Craig, are we playing a 4-4-2? Honestly, don't know. I don't know, mate. We're guessing that we are, but I couldn't tell you for certain yet. Are you a fan of the clocks going back, Craig? Said Ken Barlow. I go back and forth on it, dude. I go back and forth on it. I'm kind of easy, whichever one they want to do, but I don't have strong feelings either way. But sometimes I think it's not worth them going back. Sometimes I think it is. But yeah, I'll leave it to people far more intelligent than me to figure that one out. Any updates on Gravenberch? He didn't travel, nor did Isak with the squad. So, you know, unfortunately, we don't know when they're back, but not here today. Petter said, Craig, we lost to Sunderland. I know, I happened to just tune in. Excuse me. That was the 3 p.m. game that we got. So I happened to tune into it and just seeing the Sunderland winner, which was a very well taken goal. Good hold-up play and then a good curled strike from the edge of the box. But yeah, it's... and it wasn't by the sounds of it a fluke either, Petter. Sunderland really seemed to play well. Connor said, I don't really care, but it's an hour less sleep than I head into the airport. It's an hour more sleep, Crosby. The clock's gone back. You get an extra hour sleep. You're supposed to be the brains of the operation, Crosby. Come on. Yeah, an hour more sleep, Connor, not less. And he's the brains. What chance have we got if Connor's the brains of the operation? Right, Pitside, FC Pitside, how are we, my friend? So, Craig, you look sharp tonight. Salah goal and assist. I hope so. I've gone big for a Salah goal. I put €250 on a Salah goal tonight, so fingers crossed. Slot back to his old ways. Look, have I got a cold? I do. Yeah, I do. I have a bit of a head cold. Not too bad, to be fair. Usually when I come back from a holiday and get back to the cold weather, a few days later I start to get a bit of a head cold, but sure, we'll battle through. You know, the Reds are in action, so we got to be here. We're the only team in the world where the player of the month is on the bench every game. So, look, I understand the disappointment, because I feel it as well. But can we please stop the negativity until we have something to be negative about? I'm as disappointed as you guys that Chiesa isn't starting, because I think he should be starting. But I'm not really surprised that he's not starting, based off Arna's history in picking him. So, yeah, let's just, you know, relax on the going in on the manager stuff until we know what's going on. You know, who knows? We might go out today and put in a great performance, and we could be all thinking, well, the manager got that one spot on. So, like I said, understand the disappointment, but you know, let's not be negative. Come on, let's try and be upbeat. Where did you go on holiday? We went over to Lanzarote. Which was it was a bit of a nightmare, to be honest, because I hurt my shoulder first day, so I spent the whole week taking painkillers and resting, more or less. But it was good to get some good warm weather. Kind of weak bench tonight. We're not used to that. That's true, but look, we've got 4 injuries. So no Allison, no Frimpong, no Isak, no Gravenberch. So the bench was always going to look a little bit weaker. But maybe an opportunity there for Rio Ngamoa later on tonight, because, as we said, there's not many attacking options there on the bench. Chiesa and Ngamoa could be options for the manager. David Jones, always lovely to see you, bro, and thank you so much. 41 months as a member. I can't tell you how much that means to me, David. Thank you. Evening, Craig. Hope you and the family are good. Liverpool to win 2-0. Yeah, we're all good, man. Yeah, good. Looking forward to the office continuing to develop day by day, bit by bit, as we get closer and closer to it being completed. Well, I say closer and closer. We're still a bit away, but yeah, excited, man. Family are all good, thank you, and I hope yours are as well. Right, let me just make sure I haven't missed any comments. Stephen Irons. Stephen, how are we? Sorry, I haven't been in comments. Verts assist. That's okay, Stephen. I hope you're well. And thank you, sir, for your 17 months membership with us as well. Absolute gentleman. Jack Nickel said, why can't we play 4-4-2? We looked good last game. Well, we don't know, mate. It could be a 4-4-2. We honestly just don't know what formation we're playing yet. You can look at the selections and see a 4-3-3 or a 4-4-2. I'm hoping, Jack, like yourself, mate, it's a 4-4-2, but not sure. The real Johnny Sin said, Craig, I'm sorry, but what makes Slot think Brentford away is the right game for an out of form mode to suddenly turn things around? Slot's being pressured. I haven't got a clue. I can't speak to the manager's thought process. Maybe Isak not being there made the decision a little bit easier. But what I am surprised with is the Chiesa stuff, because he doesn't play Chiesa. I'm not saying it's right, but it doesn't surprise me that we see Salah starting alongside Ekitike. And look, I just hope that this is the game Salah turns it around. Excuse me, I didn't want you guys hearing me blowing my nose. Tipsy Dipsy said, Man United being above us feels like a fever dream. It really does. And not a good fever dream. Because I've had some weird fever dreams where I was hanging around with Tyson Fury, which was a strange dream. But Connor said it to me and I had to go and double check it, because it just felt so unrealistic to think that United could actually be ahead of us. Leach 9622, how are we? Are you confident with this starting 11, Craig? And 26 months, lovely. Well, thank you, sir, for being with us for that 26 months. Am I confident with the starting 11? I'm okay with the 11, but I don't know if I'm confident with the performance or not. So let's have a look through it again. The back four, I probably expected Robbo over Kerkez, but push that aside. Midfield is exactly as I expected. And then up top, as much as I would have gone for Federico Chiesa alongside Ugo Ekitike, I'm not surprised that he's gone for Mohamed Salah. So I just hope Mo rewards that faith the manager has shown in him and he can get back to goal scoring ways. Billy said, I'm not surprised too much with the Salah starting, but I feel bad for Chiesa. He deserves more chances and full starts. Hopefully he plays the full 90 against Palace. Yeah, I'd be amazed if Chiesa and Ngamoa don't start against Palace. I'd be absolutely amazed. Do you think Slot's stubborn attitude will cost him dearly? I don't know, because I find it very hard to be negative before we even kick off. We haven't looked and we haven't seen a second of football yet. And, as much as many of us would probably have made at least 2 changes to that team, it's the manager's decision, and I want to be supportive of it. But if we aren't seeing it working, then he's got to be brave enough to make the decision to change it as well. So you and I would probably have gone for Robertson and Salah over Kerkez and Robertson and Ekitike. I'll have a go with that again. You and I would probably have gone for Robertson and Chiesa over Salah and Kerkez. But like I said, it's the manager's decision, and let's just see how we get on. Can't believe Slot rolled back to the old formation. Well, we don't know, Kathy. We don't know, truthfully. Don't take our formation on the screen there as gospel. We really don't know whether it's a 4-4-2, a 4-2-3-1, a 4-3-3. We don't know. So we'll have to wait till we see the lads out on the pitch and see what the shape's looking like. Is this the confirmed 11? Yes, it is, Luke. Now, the formation, as I said, mate, don't take that for gospel, but the 11, yeah, that is the confirmed 11. Let me read out the Liverpool bench as well for you guys, just in case you haven't seen that. So on the bench today for the Reds, Gomez, Endo, Maka, Chiesa, Robbo, Woodman, Neoni, Morrison and Engamoa. So that's the Liverpool bench. For Brentford, there's Henry, Pinnock, Jensen, Nelson, Van Marsen, Carvalho, Onyenka, Lewis Potter and Janelt. So that's the Brentford bench. Tune up, Craig. You look a little bit under the weather. I have a head cold, but I'm feeling good. So I'm not feeling too, other than the runny nose, I'm not feeling too bad at all. So yeah, just full of painkillers for the shoulder at the minute. So I've kind of been a bit drowsy lately because of the amount of painkillers I've had to take from and anti-inflammatories for my shoulder. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Appreciate you looking out for me. But yeah, I probably sound worse than I actually feel. King Kenny said, "We know Salah owes us nothing, but if he's costing us games, then drop him. Nobody is bigger than the shirt. Chiesa and Rio will bring some keen energy with a point to prove." Again, I get it, but we haven't kicked the football yet. So, there's not much we can do about it as fans now, other than hope it works out. So let's wait and see what happens on the pitch before we start making our mind up about, about what's right or wrong. Riley said, Saturday night kickoffs wind me up. Really? I love it, mate. I love it. I'd much rather this than a 12:30 Saturday morning. Look, for the travelling fans, maybe a bit difficult, but Saturday night, 8 o'clock? Yeah, absolutely love it, dude. Seen a doctor about the shoulder. Yeah, I've been to the doctor, the hospital, and the physiotherapist. It happened to me when I was in Lanzarote, and I wanted to make sure I could do the Liverpool show, so I came back a day early so I could get some physiotherapy. And when I was over in Lanzarote, I went to a clinic, and then that didn't really work, so I went to a hospital just to get it triple checked, and then I got physio when I came back to Ireland. So yeah, it's getting there bit by bit, but it's just a bit of a draining process because you can't sleep at night. You move in your sleep, and then you're uncomfortable, and you're back up, and just a bit tired as well. But look, I've little to complain about. A lot of people are in a lot worse conditions, so I'll just grit my teeth and get through it. If the Reds win, then I think it'll be a little bit better. Dylan said, I hope you and the family are well. You'll never walk alone. Thank you, Dylan. Appreciate you being with us for a whole year. Happy anniversary, my man. And yeah, we can't complain. All good on our end, sir. Hope all is good with you as well. So, somebody's trying to troll me saying lose weight. But as always, my favourite part about this is the dumb fuck can't spell lose. Dude, you've wrote loose. You absolute fucking omadon. Don't come in and try and troll me when you're too thick to understand how to spell a fucking 4-letter word. And yes, I need to lose weight, but you'll still be a cunt. So it won't make any difference. And I can lose the weight, but like I said, you'll always be a thick fuck. So you learn to spell and I lose some weight. Deal? Always the same, and I don't know what it is. Always trolls are just thick as pig shit. It's hilarious to me. Because if you know anything about me at this point, I love a good troll. Honestly, I do. I love a good troll who actually knows what they're doing. But unfortunately, I always feel disappointed in the level of trolling that I receive because you're not on my intellect. You're just not on the same level. It feels like kicking a puppy. But, it is what it is, bitch. So I'll lose the weight if you learn how to spell a 4-letter word. Like, I don't know how old you are, but unless you're 3, not being able to spell a 4-letter word is pretty fucking embarrassing. It's an indictment on your education. So, like I said, a little bit less of the slagging, a little bit more of the ABCs, and then we'll be gravy. Don't say gravy though, because Fat Boy loves gravy. So, like I told you before, I've got a whole new level of confidence since going over to Liverpool to do the shows and the game. I'm aware far more people are kind towards me than not now. So, bring it on, because I'm ready. I'm in the good mindset for it. So you ain't going to breach these titties. I don't know. What he meant to write was, I wish I was you, Craig. I'm just some poor little sap sitting at home with nothing to do. And here you are with the world at your fingers, bro. It's grand. It's okay to be jealous of me, but it's not okay to be dumb. So learn to spell. What's the best troll comment you ever received? So there was one that wasn't live. There was one recently, and it was in, I don't know which video it was, but the comment was something like, I hear you're a racist now, Craig. And in my brain, I went, that is either the absolute best Father Ted quote I've ever seen, or a shitty bit of trolling. And I still to this day don't know which one it was. Because if it was a Father Ted one, absolute top-notch trolling. Yeah, but that was a good one. And then my favourite one ever was actually somebody who got auto-corrected. And it wasn't a trolling comment, it was just a really funny comment that's still spoken about to this day. Somebody said to me, where's Badger Tits? And immediately I knew he meant by Chechich, but his phone had done him dirty and auto-corrected it to Badger Tits. And now I don't really refer to by Chechich with my mates or as anything else other than Badger Tits. Because it was like such a funny autocorrect. Yeah, there's been a few good ones. Like I said, I really, really do appreciate good trolls because I'm Irish. You know, my best mates rip the shit out of me, and I do them. My wife rips the shit out of me. So, yeah, it's just, I get wound up by the shitty trolling because, you know, it lets the good trolls down. Josh Brayshaw, how are we, dude? Craig, you really make me laugh and smile. You show them trolls who's boss. It just always astounds me that it's always the thickest people in society that think they can have a pop at others. Like it's not a hard word to spell. You know what I mean? Lose. But they always spell it loose because they're just, like I said, ain't very bright. One comment I remember on a podcast years ago that creased me up was an English guy. I can't remember what part of the UK he was. And there was a foreign person in the chat who had kind of tried to send in a message in somewhat broken English. And the person who was on the podcast spoke back and said, and this was so simply stupid, but it made me laugh. They don't speak English as good as what we do. And it nearly fell off my chair laughing at it. Like, I was like, so you're slagging somebody for not being able to speak English well. It's your mother tongue and you can't even get a sentence out correctly. They don't speak English as good as what we do. Okay, fair enough. XX Spider said, one of my first streams, you used that long-haired filter on a picture of you. So I see it as a profile picture, but now found it so funny, so I grabbed the membership that night. Legend. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you being with us and appreciate you sticking around as well. Thoughts on the lineup, said Liam. I'm okay with it, Liam. Like, I'd be a liar, mate, if I told you I wouldn't have played Chiesa. But I also feel that we're going to see a goal from Mohamed Salah. So much so that I've gone big with it. So, just in case you think I'm winding you up, I'll show you that I'm not talking out my backside. There you go. There's my bet slip, just so you can see I'm not full of it. Mohamed Salah to score, €250 at 6-5. That is how convinced I am that the great man scores tonight. Don't know why. Just woke up today fully convinced that he was scoring. Cody Gakpo makes his 100th Premier League appearance at Liverpool tonight as well. Thank you for sending me that on, Keane. And congratulations to Cody Gakpo. That is a fantastic milestone to achieve. There was another couple here I want to go through. The Real Johnny Sins. How are you, sir, again? Thank you for dropping back in. Craig, bro, where did it all go wrong for Fabio Carvalho? Man, the lad doesn't even get minutes for Brentford. Elliot now 2-0 against Go Ahead Eagles. I don't know, because I always thought Fabio Carvalho was going to be a baller when he came in. I almost seen him as, and I'm sure I'm not on my own in this, Felipe Coutinho 2.0. But I don't know, my man. There was some murmurings around attitude issues, but I always find that really, I don't want to say that publicly and say it as a fact because, like I said, they are just rumours. But truth is, I don't know. Um, but I thought when we signed him, he was going to have a decent Liverpool career. I really did, but I was wrong. 0311 Grizzly said, I don't know why, but I feel like Flo breakthrough this match. 1 goal, 2 assists. Could do, and I hope so. I've got Wirtz to score from outside the box as well at 20-1. 20-1! The score from outside the box. I couldn't not stick a fiver on that, like. And I also stick a tenner on Szoboszlai from outside the box because sometimes these things come along in twos, when he scored that great goal midweek against Frankfurt from outside the box. So, yeah, they're my 3 bets for the night. Wirtz from outside the box, Szoboszlai from outside the box, and, of course, just Mohamed Salah to score. Because it's very rare. It's very rare that you see Mohamed Salah with positive odds. Like less than even money. Now it's 6-5, so he's over even money. Very rare I see that, so I just felt like with that and the gut feeling I had, why not? It's an old joke, Craig. Should be you, should speak proper English. I wish this guy was saying it as a joke, mate, but honestly I can tell you from the patterns of the way he spoke, he wasn't joking when he said it. Yeah, if he was joking, fair enough, but I really don't think he was in that case. Do I bet on most games? Not really, no. It's been quite a while since I've bet on, anything substantial on a Liverpool game. Because, let's say tonight I've got that money on Mohamed Salah. Then your mind kind of goes to focusing more on that than the actual team performance in the game. But, I just woke up today with a gut feeling. And I'm a big person and believing in my gut, because it is so substantial that, I got to back it. There's a clean sheet here in this one. It'd be lovely to keep a clean sheet. Yeah, some more of those wouldn't go astray. But, yeah, look, I'm just excited. Saturday night kickoffs. I know the gentleman earlier on said that he's not a fan of them, but I am. I love a Saturday night kickoff. And the fact that we have 2 back-to-back as well is interesting. 2 Saturday night games in a row in the league. We've got Villa at home next Saturday as well. So I'm just, fingers crossed for the win today. Right, ladies and gents, I need your help, as always. If you can, you know what I'm going to ask you. Do hit that like button for me. We have 45 minutes to go till kickoff, but we have a great record of hitting 1,000 likes before kickoff. So if you can help us out with that one, it only takes a second. Gary Mackay said, Sunderland being second is the most insane thing ever. I know that you've got Bournemouth right up there as well. But fair play, seeing those Sunderland fans celebrating at Stamford Bridge today, you can see how much it meant to them with that late winner, and it looks like this year we may have some teams coming up from the Championship, Gary, that might stick around, and Leeds doing okay, Sunderland doing okay. We're taking 8 PM over 12:30 any Saturday. Oh, same. 12:30 kickoffs for me basically mean no sleep, because I only go to sleep at about 6 or 7 a.m. So usually my brain just goes, well, if you go to sleep now, you're going to be more tired when you wake up. So yeah, usually I hate the 12:30 kickoffs. So when that rule came in about Champions League games on a Wednesday away from home, I was delighted. Because I hate the early kickoffs. Free West Ham, they're in the trenches. I'm so surprised that West Ham are that far down the table. Well, they're 19th now. It's it's just not good enough, is it, for West Ham? Thoughts on Heroes replacing Eclairs for Flakes? I didn't know they had, to be honest, but I like both. To be honest, now I wouldn't be getting rid of Eclairs. There are things in the Heroes that I got rid of before Eclairs, but I like Flakes and I like Eclairs, so yeah. Which one would I prefer? Probably a Flake, if I'm being really honest with you. So I'm going to give it a thumbs up. But I didn't know what happened, so there you go. I've been trying these nuts lately. There's a joke in there somewhere. Feel free. I've been trying these nuts lately, these Walkers ones. And they've got they're crunchy nuts. So they've got a coating on the outside of them. But they have a smoky bacon flavour. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Oh, yeah, incredible. It's about the only good thing Walkers do, to be fair, are they're nuts because they're crisps and dog shit. Sorry, but Team Ireland all the way for the crisps. So Craig loves crunchy nuts. Well, who doesn't, to be fair? I mean, if we're talking cereal, who doesn't love it? I know you're not, but crunchy nuts are the goat of cereal. I've had the Doritos nuts ones. They're great. Yes, I'd seen the Doritos ones, but I'm not a spicy type of guy, so I went for the smoky bacon ones. And oh, like there's also what are they? Not Walker, not Cheetos. The other ones, whatever the Walker's versions are of the cheesy ones, they're lovely as well. But the smoky bacon ones, oh lads, amazing. Liverpool Prophet said, Craig, do you like the French chocolate buns with the chocolate in? Yes. Look, anything pastry related, I'm on board with. That's my big, well, I would say Achilles heel, but it's probably more my Achilles stomach. Anything pastry related, it's my way. Yeah, What's It? There you go. Thank you, man, bailing me out with the win. Yeah, they have a What's It flavour one as well. Really nice, really nice. Does anybody remember the old hot nuts? That this could be a porn conversation, this, couldn't it? Does anybody remember when you used to go into pubs and you used to get the hot nuts? They had like a machine in front of them and they had a little cardboard thing and they'd scoop them into. Oh, I used to work in a hotel where they sold them, and honestly, I don't think anybody ever actually bought them because the staff just ate them all. Nobby's nuts as well, Connor said, yes. Yeah, those hot nuts though, they were legit. They were legit. What's It to the cheesy version? Yeah, Harry's, that was the ones. Yeah, that was the ones. They were very nice as well. Right. What have we got? I can't understand what Slot is thinking by playing Salah. Is he scared of Mo throwing a social media strop? I honestly don't know. I don't know what's going on. You know, maybe he just feels like he rested him midweek. Maybe he thinks it could be a resting thing. He needs to use Mo more sparingly. I don't know, but you're not wrong. Like many of us feel on form he shouldn't be playing, but I still want to get behind Mo because it will turn around, and I just have a feeling tonight he's going to grab a goal. Craig, have you had the pastries from Bread 41 in Dublin? I haven't, because I'm not up in Dublin much. What part of Dublin, or have they got multiple locations? But yeah, look, anything pastry or cake related is up my street. You know, some people say they have a sweet tooth. I have a fat tooth. It's not even a sweet tooth. It's straight fat tooth. Hugo said, come on, Brighton. I don't know if I could cover it all, mate, but I'll give it a go. You know, maybe with the right environment, maybe with the right little, but I'll give it a go. Do I like donuts? Yes. Best donut in the world for me is a straightforward Boston creme. Can't go wrong with a Boston creme. But, yeah, look, donuts have come a long way. A long way. So 3-2 in the United game now. Wow. They're Jimmy Milner with the assist. What have they got left in that one? That must be nearly over, though. Must be into the last few minutes on that. Michael said, Irish tato, cheese and onion, or Northern Ireland tato, cheese and onion. So, the Northern Irish tato, cheese and onion are nowhere near as good as the original. So, your yellow packets of Northern Irish cheese and onion tato are nowhere near the glorious red and blue bags of tato. So 100% the southern ones. And it's not an anti-Northern Ireland thing. I would say it's just a fact. What's your favourite pizza? So I'm so boring. A margarita. Yeah, if I'm really like pushing the boat out for me, ham or bacon. But normally it's just margarita if I'm having a pizza. I have this real... I'm convinced that if a place can do a margarita pizza well, then that's it. They've nailed it. Because that to me is the true test of a pizza. If you can pull off a good margarita, you're going a long way. Craig, would you start Salah today? No, I wouldn't. But like I said, I fully expected the manager to once Isak was out. But no, I'm like most of you guys. I would probably have gone for Federico Chiesa. But I do also say that if it is a 4-4-2, I think the 4-4-2 will get more out of Mo than the 4-3-3. Again, I want to bring up this chart that we showed you earlier on, and credit Sky Sports for this because it's their graphic. Sky Sports put up this graphic, and the left-hand side there shows Mohamed Salah's heat map from this season versus the right-hand side, which is last season. And as you can see, there's no red inside the penalty area this season for Mo. Whereas last season, yes, there was a lot of activity down the right-hand channel, but you also see that big red heat patch in the right corner of the penalty area. So we just haven't really been getting Mo into a dangerous enough position this year. Now, whether that's because of the system, whether that's because of the personnel, whether that's because he's been marked out of games and kept wider, I don't know. But hopefully, if it's a 4-4-2, then we can see him a little bit closer to goal. Stephen Copeland said, I think Slot thinks Salah will come good again. Also, did you hear the interview with Klopp saying he would manage Liverpool again if it was possible? So I think he said the only team in the Premier League he'd manage would be Liverpool. And hypothetically, you couldn't rule that out. But look, if Jurgen comes back at any time in the future, Stephen, I ain't going to complain about it. But Arna's the guy now, and I wish him nothing but success. Favourite pizza place? I don't really have one at the minute, because I don't have a pizza place around me that I think is consistent. Domino's is great, but they're absolute robbing bastards. And I say that with all love. They are. You know, when you're charging $8.50 for chicken tenders and like $5.50 or £6 for chips, you can get in the bin. Mazzoni's is probably the one I go to the most here, but that's hit and miss. Apache Pizza's okay. We don't have Pizza Hut where I live. We used to, but it moved. So yeah, I'll probably make my own rather than get a pizza, because I'm not really blown away by any of the ones that they have here. Would you swap Slot for Luis Enrique right now? No, I wouldn't. Doesn't mean I don't rate Luis Enrique, but Arne Slot's our manager. He's won us a league title. You know, I've been annoyed by some of his decisions, fair enough, but, you know, I think the manager deserves time to knit this team together. Now, would I swap Arne Slot for Klopp right now? Yeah, I would. And I said this on the podcast during the week, or last week. I would, because nobody would be above Klopp in my eyes. And look, for what it's worth, yes, maybe it was the right time when Klopp said goodbye, but I don't know, Klopp made me feel things as a football fan and a connection to the club that I haven't really felt from many other managers. And Klopp's as emotional as I am, so, you know, Arne's a little bit more measured, a little bit more calm on the sidelines. So yeah, I would do that swap. Ethan Carr said, how are you feeling about the game? I'm not sure what to expect, Ethan, mate. You know, I'm optimistic. I'm nervous. There was another good bet Sky had, a 4-1, which was for Jordan Henderson to get a yellow. And I felt like that was a good value bet as well, a 4-1. I only got to one pizza place called Four Seasons. Their pizzas are always way better than Domino's and Pizza Hut. Yeah, it's good if you do have that one place that's consistent, because that's the thing that gets me with food is consistency. It always amazes me as well the amount of chippers or fish and chip shops that can't make a decent chip. You know, it's basically your bread and butter. So, but one thing I will say is I always say to you guys that Irish places make nicer crisps. So the Irish crisps are 100% nicer. English chippies are better than Irish chippies. I'll give you that one hands down. Every time I go I've not really had a bad chipper over in the UK. Mastad says they're way back from McAllister, or will the system never work for him? So we had a conversation yesterday on the stream, and certainly on our podcast that we put out. Shout out to the podcast if you haven't given it a listen, where we talked about a hypothetical situation where Camavinga comes to us and McAllister goes to Madrid, and I discussed why I think that would be something that would potentially make sense if we're sticking with the 4-4-2 system. But Maka has to find his way back in now. You know, for whatever reason, he hasn't been able to get to the heights that we know he's capable of this season, and he feels like he's still playing catch up. Oh, Marios, you're trying too hard, dude. You're trying too hard, mate. You put the word loose in on purpose, just looking for me to have a rant, but it's too obvious what you're trying, my man. So best luck next time. Craig, just want to say how well you take all the shit from the trolls. You're just a man who loves football and connecting with these people 100%. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't give the haters much energy. Look, I'm Irish, and like I've said, when you're Irish, the more somebody loves you, the more shit you get from them. You know, if you're around Irish people and they're taking the piss out of you, that's a good thing. That means we like you, because the ones we're most vicious to are the ones we love the most. So yeah, I always enjoy a good bit of banter, to be honest with you. And most of the time, they're just very basic trolling. You're fat. Wow, well done, breaking news. But you know what they can say to me? They can't say, hey, Craig, you're not the most watched Liverpool fan channel in the world. They can't say that to me, and that's why they're here, because they'd love to be in that position. Blizzard said, do you think Mo fits into this system? If it's the 4-4-2 system, yes, I do. I think this could be the way that we get Mo closer to goal. You know, this is a conversation that we as Liverpool fans have had about Mo for the last 2 years as he's gotten a little bit older. Is there a world or a way where we start to utilise him more centrally? And I think the system now could be ideal for that. You know, if you had competition between Mohamed Salah, Ugo Ekitike and Isak, and you had three guys fighting for them 2 spots in a 4-4-2, between rotation and stuff, I think it could work out longer term, but need to see if we stick to this system or if we go back to the older one tonight. The real Johnny Sin said, Craig, random thought, but how do we lose that 22 final against that average Madrid side with all the players and firepower we still had? Still pisses me off. Well, Courtois had a worldie. We switched off to allow Vinny Jr. in. I think it was Trent at the back post. But we probably should have won that game. I think about it as well with Athens and Istanbul. So I was at both. But weirdly, I felt like we played better in Athens against AC Milan than we did in Istanbul. So I don't know how we lost that final, mate, other than Thibaut Courtois was just on a mad one and just making save after save. LFC N9G said, hopefully this game will show that Salah isn't slowly becoming worse and worse. That 4-2-3-1 could work again. What more does Chiesa have to do? Look, you're preaching to the choir. I agree. I think everybody agrees. Like, if we did a poll now saying should Chiesa start, I dare say it would be fairly one-sided. But it doesn't surprise me, based off the manager's history with Fede, that he's not playing or he's not starting, because, you know, he doesn't really seem to want to play him. You know, there's nothing I can say about that that's going to change it, but all I can say, keep saying, is I agree with you. Shisha, or Shesha, said, Craig, what's your views on slot wasteless subs, like removing a right back, swapping Szoboszlai at right back, and then making another sub to move him back to midfield? Sometimes it annoys me. Sometimes I eventually understand the thought process of what he's doing. But if I'm to say the thing that annoys me the most about watching teams under slot, it's how slowly we start. That I'd like to see knocked on the head, and I'd like to see us come out of the traps far quicker with far more intensity. Because I know Arna likes to maybe wear teams down and try and win at the end, but I'd rather just blow them away and then be able to make changes at the hour mark, knowing that the game's already in the bag. So that's the one change I'd like to see from Arna. You know, we're always going to talk about managers having favourites as well and playing players that we disagree with. I think every manager probably does that to some extent. Repel G said, Craig, say Chiesa is on fire and bangs them in while Mo's at the AFCON. Does Mo definitely start on his return? Probably not. Like, if Fede, let's say, bags 4 and has a couple of assists while Mo's away, I don't see how you drop him then. Because at that point, it is an agenda against the player. You know, if you're given chances and you take them, then what excuse has the manager got? Now, you can make the argument that he's already been given chances and taken them, but the manager's still not playing them. But at some point, we have to look to the future, and somebody's going to have to put their hand up to take one of those starting spots. So, like everybody else in the chat tonight, I'm as frustrated at the lack of starting time that Fede is getting as all of you guys. But I also, deep down, really do want Mo to turn it around. Want Mo to get back to being Mo. Want Mo to look happy again, and want us to have our superstar back. So, you know, fingers crossed that tonight's the night where we can start to turn it around. Going around here looking like Rudolph by the end of the string with the red nose. Craig, the city centre is always busy, but it takes me an hour to get from the city centre to Finglas and there's no traffic. It takes 10 minutes. Oh, I remember those days, dude. I remember the same coming back out towards Shankill, Blackrock, out that way. Some days you fly in and out, some days it takes an eternity. The M50 is the worst. Trying to judge the M50 going to the airport is so tough. You know, what do you do? Do you give yourself the extra time, or do you roll the dice and think I can get out there in no time? Because if the M50 is clear, I can get to the airport from here in about an hour and 10 minutes. And if it's not, then it could take me over 2.5 hours. What's your score prediction for today? I'm kind of in agreement with Connor, and I think it might be something like 4-2. But as long as we win this game of football, whether it's 1-0, 4-3, 6-2, I don't mind as long as we win the game at the end of it, because it's about getting the points on the board now. I don't want to be looking up and see Manchester United above us like they are now. That's unacceptable. Zesty said, would have loved to see the 4-4-2 again. So please don't think that our formation's spot on, mate. We don't know what the formation is. Hand on heart, we're just guessing. It could very well be a 4-4-2, because if you look at the team and you were to, let's say, look at our midfield, you could make the argument again that it's Szoboszlai and Jones, Gakpo left, Wirtz on the right with Salah and Ekitike up top. So truth is, we're going to have to just wait and see as they line up. James, thank you, mate, for being with us as a member for 13 months. Absolute legend, bro. And good evening to you as well. Alpha Kenny Body. I don't know what that means, but okay. And thank you for your super chat, my friend. So the King has said 4-1 Salah hat-trick and Gakpo with the extra one. He'll bounce back if the media appreciate him more. All the criticism's getting to him. But see, here's the thing, right? The criticism's warranted. I don't think they're looking for something that isn't there with Mo. I think they're looking and saying, right, this is the longest time in his whole Liverpool career that he's gone 8 games now without a goal from open play. So it's not like the media just on a witch hunt for Mo. I think it's a genuinely fair conversation. Now, of course, he's not used to it because his career at Liverpool has been filled far more with... I don't know, what was I baited into? I don't understand. Oh, I'll fuck anybody. Is that what that's supposed to say? I mean, just get me to say that if that's what you want me to say. If you want me to say I'll fuck anybody, just ask me to say that. I mean, see, that's what I'm talking about. A bit of good trolling. You know what I mean? That's a bit of trolling I can get behind. You know, fair play. Well done. That's a good thing. I don't mind being outwitted like that. Fair play. That's proper order. That's good trolling. Yeah, well done. I can get behind that. You know what I mean? Give me that all day over the idiots going, oh, lose weight, fat boy. BG Veteran said, bro, I'm sorry I can't pay for the subs, but I'm still here. Don't apologise for that, my man. I appreciate you being here. You know, there's never any expectation from me about super chats or memberships. You being here with us is more than enough, so I appreciate you. Luke said, crap, I forgot they had Kelleher. Jeez, I need my bed. Yeah, they do, and Hendo. It's a bit weird, like we're coming up against 2 former players. Nessie said, mixed feelings seeing Kelleher against us. It'll be tough scoring against them. Yeah, he's a really good goalkeeper. As you know, from an Irish perspective, it was sad to see him leave Liverpool, but I understand why. He's a number 1 now, and he deserves to be a number 1. What evidence does the manager have that Salah will change his play tonight? None. But look, I take it that the people in the chat are mostly Liverpool fans, right? So I take it we're all Liverpool fans here. And whilst I understand the frustration at maybe Chiesa not playing over Salah, surely deep down we all want Salah to succeed, right? Now, I'm not saying there's any evidence to show that he's going to turn it around immediately, but I also don't understand not at least giving him a chance tonight to see what happens. And you could say, Craig, we've given him enough chances this season, and I get that. But we want him to succeed. Or at least I'd like to say deep down we all want him to succeed. So for me, I said all week I wouldn't play him and I wouldn't start him. But I do want him to score. I do want him to succeed. And I do want him to turn it around. Because it benefits everybody. So if he puts in another performance that doesn't deliver, we can talk about that. But right now, let's just get behind the team. And hope that maybe if it is a 4-4-2, that we see more from him than we've seen in the 4-3-3 this season with Salah. Ultimately, if the manager keeps doing it and it doesn't work, well, it'll be the manager's job at the end of it. So, for me, I agree on Chiesa, of course. I'd be silly not to, but I also think it's silly of us to write off Mo. You know, I don't like what he did with the socials, and I was pretty clear and honest about that. But I've never for 1 second thought that this was anything other than a blip. Now, you can make the argument that this blip goes back to February, and that's probably fair as well, because it didn't exactly end the season very well. But it benefits everybody if it works. So let's hope that it does tonight and we see a better performance. Kerkez starting over Robertson. Salah level still from Arna. Calling it as I see it. That's bias and it needs to stop because Kerkez has been poor. Look, I agree, Jonathan. We looked better with Andy Robertson in the team. So no argument for me on it. But again, it's the manager's call. And we know Robbo's there if it's not working out. But like you said, if you look back at my predicted 11, my predicted 11 was Mamardashvili, Bradley, Kanade, Virgil, Robertson, Jones, Soboslai, Wirtz, Gakpo, Chiesa, and Ekitike. So I would have had 2 changes to the team that Arna's gone with, and I dare say most of us would. So yeah, no argument for me on it, dude. I agree with you, but also, you know, we are where we are. Mark, thank you for gifting a membership, sir. Appreciate you. Dara said Vandenberg also and Phil on the bench, 4 ex-Liverpool players. Yeah, good point, Dara. Good point. Sepp Vandenberg's a very interesting one because he really did want to stay at Liverpool. But, you know, he's at least now getting game time there at Brentford. And I always thought there was a decent defender in there. Carvalho, as somebody pointed out, I think it was Johnny Sins earlier on, just hasn't been able to really nail down a starting place either at Liverpool or here. 50 Ping Skiller said Henderson versus the Reds bring back some good memories. And thank you, sir, for being with us 6 months as well. And hello to Dog in the photograph. Give him a little cuddle for me. Oh, lads, I went into the kitchen just before I came in to do the stream. So I always go in to let Harvey out for a pee before I start. And my God, that dog produced some amount of poo-poo because it was all over the kitchen floor. And it was, I didn't want to spend the 5 minutes before the stream picking up dog shit and disinfecting the floor, but that's how I spent a few minutes before the stream. And I mean, like, for a small dog, he produced an ungodly amount. Like, there was nuggets everywhere. 0311 Grizzly sent 5 Anfield Agenda memberships. Absolute legend, sir. Thank you, and I'm sure that they'll be greatly appreciated. Thanks for letting us know. Well, if I have to suffer, you have to suffer. So yeah, you have to have that vision in your head. Do you ever? Any dog owners will know this feeling. You're about to open the door, but you get to the door and you go, and yeah. So I knew when I was opening that door what was waiting for me on the other side of it. Put aside your emotions, Craig. Chiesa just got Player of the Month award. I don't know what you mean by put aside your emotions. I've literally said multiple times I'd have played Chiesa. I don't know what you're disagreeing with me on, bro. I said same as you. In my predicted 11, you go back and watch the video, I put Chiesa in there. So, you know, I'm going off form like you, but it doesn't surprise me that Arna has gone for Mo, as much as we as fans would disagree. So we're on the same page, my man. I'm just trying to defend some of the negativity about a performance that hasn't happened yet. I can't push back against anybody who thinks Salah shouldn't be starting, because I think it's coming from a place of fairness. But I also think we need to want him to succeed as well. And, you know, we are Liverpool fans. We know what the great man's capable of. And surely there aren't too many more chances now before Arna starts to think, look, I do need to make a change. And we have the AFCON coming up where we'll get a good prolonged period to see what the team looks like without him in it. So, like I said, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm also not at a point yet to write Salah off longer term. Petter said, did you change your name slightly, Petter? Am I imagining that? Craig, do you expect Slot to field a strong team against Palace in the Cup? I always struggle to second guess the Cup games. Actually, that reminds me, I've got to send Connor my predictions for that one. I'll do that now, actually, when I'm talking to you. 1 second. Because if I don't do this for Connor before he goes away, because he's going away in the morning, I'll forget. 1 sec. Okay. Trying to really quickly put together the team here for the Palace game in my head. Hopefully he's back for that, so I'm going to go with that. What midfield are we thinking for the Brentford or for the Palace game? I'm trying to do this out now for Connor. McAllister's got to play in there anyway, doesn't he? So Mac will be in there. I think maybe he might be in there. 1 sec. Right, I need one more midfielder. Or are we going with that 4-4-2 system? So let's change that up actually. Oh, I can send it after. Good, thanks. Yeah, so that's the start of it, Connor. I'll get the rest of it to you later. Logan Shepherd, welcome to Anfield Agenda FC again, mate. Appreciate you. Johnny said, hey Craig, do you think Flo will score tonight? Well, I've got a 5 running to score from outside the box, Johnny, so I hope he does. And look, I was delighted for him to get the 2 assists as well. And thank you for 8 months as a member, sir. Travis said, hey Craig, love the content. Mad respect for calling out the hate instead of ignoring it. Keep going and go Reds. Threw some cash on Salah as well. Well, fingers crossed for both of us, sir. I went big on my Mohamed Salah bet today. So yeah, I'm hoping he scores as well. And appreciate your kind words as well. Look, some trolling's easy to deal with, mate. Others sometimes cuts a bit deep. Like I said, the racism shit, that really stung. Not Tyra said, much love guys, and right back to you, Tyra. Really do appreciate your support. Love the profile picture as well. It's Logan said, been a fan for a while, appreciate the work, brother. I appreciate you being here, Logan. Really do, mate. All of you guys giving up your time to come in and spend Saturday evening with me is much appreciated. But I do need your help. We are 14 minutes away from kickoff. We're 160 likes away from getting to the 1,000. Let's keep the record going. If you have got one spare second, do hit that like button for me and let's get us over 1,000 likes. Also, if you haven't subscribed, you know what to do. Carl said, last stream before I go to Turkey. Come on, you Reds. Oh, very nice. Carl, can I ask you a little favour? I was supposed to go to Turkey and I wanted to pick my dude up. I wanted to pick him up the cream Liverpool kit. So if you see one of them for like a 12-year-old over in Turkey, can you pick one up for me and post it over and I'll sort you out with a few quid? I just meant to pick him up when I was over there. So firstly though, enjoy it. Enjoy it. As you know, we were supposed to go to Turkey before all the crap started and we delayed the holiday and went to Lanzarote. But yeah, enjoy. What part are you going to as well? Of course, my skybox has decided to turn itself off and not work. Of course it has. Cheers for that, Sky. Now it's back on. Nice. Let me just change the channel to go back in. TNT so biased towards Liverpool. I've got it on, but I've not got the sound on, so I've no idea what they're saying. Marlo makes edits. Of course I can shout you out, bro. Welcome in. Lovely to see you. And thank you for joining us. We need to go above United. Yes, we do, my friend. We definitely do need to go above United. Like, I actually cannot believe we're behind them in the league table. It feels very surreal. Riley said, gone over to Dublin a couple of weeks, gone over to Ireland in a couple of weeks, going to Dublin and the north, but don't know where else to go. Cork, Kerry, Galway, all beautiful, definitely worth a trip. Wexford, my home county, is always worth a trip as well. But look, you're not going too far wrong going up north. Northern Ireland's amazing. I love it up there. But certainly if you can get over to the west coast of Ireland, to the likes of Galway, or down the south to Kerry and Cork, again, beautiful part of the country. Kilkenny, yeah, Kilkenny. If you love historic stuff, castle, stuff like that, Kilkenny's gorgeous. I pronounced this incorrectly, mate. The Aksika said, "Dear everyone, writing from Hungary. Welcome in, my friend. Wishing all the best. We need a victory, maybe a big one after the match against Frankfurt. I'm sure it'll go well. If the guys really want it. Well, welcome in, my friend, and appreciate you joining us. And yeah, we're all hoping for the win." Have a feeling United finish above Liverpool this season? No, there's no way, no chance that's happening. Yeah, look, I'm all for we're in a bad moment and all, but yeah, just there's not one fibre of my body that thinks that's going to happen. David Burke said fraud. I mean, there's no point in admitting it publicly, David. Jesus, at least wait till it's proven in court for you, bro. But either way, again, fraud. Is that the trolling attempt, David? That's what we've got, fraud? What am I doing that's fraudulent, bitch? I'm here. I'm real. Look. Real me. If there's anything that's fraudulent, mate, it's your attempted trolling. But, you know, it is what it is. You've admitted it publicly, David, so, you know, it is what it is. How's Mamadash so far from your view? Okay. Wouldn't say I'm convinced. Wouldn't say I'm writing him off. Okay is kind of where I'm at. Some good, some bad. Levi Boyd, thank you for being with us 16 months as a member. Said happily take a 1-0 today, but not Man U above us. I know it just doesn't feel real that they're above us. It really doesn't. Alex Macklin said, Man United in front of us, can't believe it, really. I know. I thought it was a wind-up when Connor said it to me. I just thought there's no way that could be right in the league table. But right, so here's Arne on Mohamed Salah starting today, and he said, should I have to explain or do his numbers speak for themselves? Mo has been so influential since he has been here. Unfortunately, like the whole team, we haven't brought the best out of every single player yet, or the team yet. So Arne doubled down on his support of Mo, and look, we'll see tonight if it works out or not. Greetings from New Zealand. Ireland's beautiful. Thank you, Kiwi Brian. Your own country's pretty beautiful as well, dare I say it. No, I've never had a dick inside her. Come on, you're going to have to be better than that, Connor. Come on, that's an oldie, mate. That's an oldie. Actually, one of Jamie Oliver's pubs, and I don't know if it's still the same, Connor, but one of Jamie Oliver's pubs used to be called the Cock Insider, which I thought was just a beautiful name. I don't know if he still has it, but definitely used to be the name of one of his pubs. Joseph said, so no 4-4-2. Don't know. Please don't take our formation on the screen as the formation. I don't know which way we're lining up with regards to the formation. Just random short that I just started watching, and the porn talk was there straight away, dude. Just saying, what if I just wandered into it? Well, welcome him, my friend. John Keegan, welcome to Anfield Agenda FC. Appreciate your support, John. Thank you. The amount of people who are so negative about something that hasn't happened yet. Look, I'm a critical person, as you know, but the game hasn't kicked off yet, and there's already people again moaning about the manager. Let's just wait and see. If it doesn't work out, I'll be the first one on here moaning about it, but it's a bit difficult to get angry about something that hasn't happened yet. As much as I am disappointed with a couple of the team selections, I'd have gone for Robertson over Kerkez, and I'd have gone for Chiesa over Salah, but, you know, let's just wait and see how it goes. Agent Fort97 said, if we struggle to score tonight and concede more than one, it goes to show that this formation is not right for us, the 4-3-3. At the moment, 4-4-2 worked well midweek. Well, we don't know what the formation is going to be tonight. Like I said, please don't take what we have on the screen as a factual thing. The 11, yes, but we don't know the formation. I very much hope it's a 4-4-2 because, you know, it worked for us midweek, in my opinion. We look more balanced in it. And I also think 4-4-2 will help Mo. Sen 446, appreciate your support, mate. Thank you, really do. I seen your comment earlier and I meant to call it out, mate. Sorry, but yeah, thank you. Craig has my full support. Thank you, sir. I'm very fortunate, man, to have so many of you guys supporting and watching the channel. It means a lot to me. Elise or Semenyo, Moeen again. I seen your comment earlier, bro, and I meant to comment and answer back to you. I'd say Elise, but honestly, I'd be more than happy with either of them. And you could throw Nico Williams into that mix as well. But for me, I think Elise, but I wouldn't be happy with either one. I wouldn't be unhappy, excuse me, with either one. Billy said, it's weird, Craig. I respect everyone's opinions, but I've seen someone say that if we lose just because Salah is starting, kind of weird comment. Yeah, I know. Look, I've tried to be fair about it as much as I can, and that I totally understand that people are, you know, not happy with the form he's in. I've no problem with it, but shouldn't we all want him to succeed and want it to turn around? Now, maybe we're being delusional, but we haven't yet seen Mo properly in a 4-4-2. And we've spoken so often about wanting to get him more central. And, you know, this tonight, if it is a 4-4-2, gives him the option of doing that. What's your prediction for the match? 4-2 is my best guess, but I'd take any win. I really would. Scott Kirwan said, best watch-along going around. Fact. I love that, mate. Thank you. Really does mean a lot to me. Sorry, I'm just flicking through some of the channels here. Is Isak injured? Yes, he is. Isak's injured. Frimpong's injured. Gravenberg's not available. And Allison's not available. So those four aren't in the squad tonight. Actually, let me just check that my clock is working. 1 sec. Yeah, here we go. Happy days. Derek, how are we? Derek said, greetings from Canada. You have to try a Boston Creme and coffee from Tim Hortons. Oh, I've done it, mate. I've done it. Literally within an hour of getting to Canada, and it was a long time ago, we were in Tim Hortons, having some Timbits and then having a Boston Creme, because a Boston Creme is my favourite donut. So, happy to say, been there, done it, and enjoyed it. Do I rate Inacio from Sporting? Somewhat, but I'd rather Diamonde. If we're going to Sporting, I'd rather we sign Usman Diamonde. Ian Greenstreet, and you're right, Eno, said don't forget the clocks go back tonight. They do, which is usually a good thing. You know, the one time I hated it was when I worked night shifts, and I used to work 11 p.m. to 8 in the morning, and that meant we had an extra hour's work those nights. But in the summer, I guess you got it back. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we are 4 minutes away from kickoff. So really quickly, I'm going to go back through both starting 11s again one more time. We'll start off with Brentford. It's Kelleher, Kyoda, Collins, Vandenberg, Ayar, Damsgaard, Yarmaluk, Hendo, Shada, Thiago, and Utara. For Liverpool, it's Alisson. No, it's not. It's Georgi Mamardashvili. So used to saying Alisson. It's Georgi Mamardashvili in goal. Right back, Conor Bradley. Left back, Milos Kerkez. Your centre-back pairing are your captain, Virgil van Dijk, and Ibrahim Konate. We think In midfield, it's a 4-4-2. So if it is a midfield 4-4-2, it'll be Wirtz on the right, Gakpo on the left, with Jones and Szoboszlai in the middle. And then up top, Hugo Ekitike and Mohamed Salah. Your Liverpool bench today: Gomez, Endo, Maka, Chiesa, Robbo, Woodman, Neoni, Morrison and Ngamoa. Would I buy a centre-back in January? Oh, God, yes, Carl. First thing I'd be doing, mate. It's right at the start of the window, 100%. Ian said, mate, I've done it too, mate. It was a bitch doing work when the clocks went forward. It used to be great in nightclubs, though. Ian, you know, back in the day, you're in the nightclub, you get that extra hours drinking. That was one of the good parts of it. But yeah, it was horrible those nights when you work and you have an extra hour to do. Martin Lawrence said, Craig, with the injuries we have, would it be a disaster to go out of the League Cup? Not looking to lose, are you trolling me? A game, or been off a tournament, but don't think we can compete in four fronts. I don't want to go out of any competition. I can understand the manager rotating some players and going a bit weaker, but no, I don't want to go out. Especially against Palace, because they've had the better of us in the last couple of occasions. BK Troken said Woodman. Yeah, Freddie Woodman, backup goalkeeper. If we got another 200 million in January, what players would you love to sign? Semenyo, Mark A, and Camavinga or Wharton. Yeah, probably those. A DM, a centre back, and maybe another wide forward. Right, ladies and gents, sit back, try your best to relax, and I'll take you through the game. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, we'd love you to do so, and welcome along if you're joining us for the first time. Liverpool are going to be in our green kit tonight. Obviously, Brentford in their red and white stripes. The 11s we've gone through already, and fingers crossed we can get back to winning ways in the league. Ali Hafiz, thank you. Appreciate your support, man. Really do. Would you rather have Chiesa start instead of Mo? Yes, absolutely. I think Chiesa deserves to start. So I don't disagree with anybody who has that take. Brian, I hope you got back home safe and sound, my man. It was such a lovely honour to spend the weekend with Brian, with Laurie and with Verna's brother. And thank you, man. He's gifted 50 memberships again. Absolute legend. And appreciate you so much, Brian, as always. And happy belated birthday. It was Brian's birthday on Wednesday. And anybody who came to the live show in Liverpool actually got to meet LFC USA. He introduced me onto stage, which was an honour. And like I said, always lovely to see you in. Right, we're about to get on the way. Liverpool will be kicking us off in the green strip. Simon Hooper is your referee today. And we're off. We are underway. HFMCE said, Salah, if he plays crap again in the last 90 minutes, slot is genuinely the problem. Levi Boyd said, happy to take a 1-0 today, but not Man United above us. Right, let's see here formation-wise. Liverpool in possession with Van Dijk to Canade. Difficult to say early doors, but it looks 4-3-3-ish at the minute. But again, it's hard to say as we haven't really settled in yet. Bradley, back to Canade. Press comes on him, so he goes back to Mamardashvili. Again, we're looking to try and make sure we see what this formation is. Actually, I need to pause my clock for a second. I'm a tiny bit ahead. So, there we go. Right, 1 minute. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Right, Mamardashvili out right to Ibrahima Canade. Canade goes long over the top. Ball kind of bounces in. Actually, Salah looks quite central here. This could be a 4-4-2. I'm still trying to figure it out, so bear with me. Brentford now in possession. They go in behind. Mamardashvili leaves his goal, comes out as well. Puts it out for Brentford throw-in. Well done, Georgie. Expecting a long throw in here from Brentford. So Fingers crossed we defend it. So I think it's a 4-4-2, but we haven't really had a defensive formation yet that gives me much of an idea on it. Long throw in coming here from Brentford, far side of the pitch. Ball's in. Van Dijk heads it away. Salah hooks it away. Now, second ball, boys. Why did we let that bounce? Come on, Flo. Kerkez, he heads the ball out. It'll be a Brentford throw in. Halfway inside the Liverpool half, near side. No, sorry, were white shorts the original design on these kits? Yes, they were. Sometimes we had to wear the green one. But yeah, I think white shorts were the original one. I liked black shorts with it personally. Cross in from Henderson, headed away by Van Dijk. Wirtz now touches the ball in centrally. Brighton hook a shot forward, but it's way, way, way over Mohamed goal. Be Liverpool goal kick. Isn't El Clasico tonight also? I think it's tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Chiesa on the bench. Yes, he is. So Liverpool bench, if you haven't seen it yet, is Gomez, Endo, Maka, Chiesa, Robbo, Woodman, Neone, Morrison, and Gamoa. Georgie goes long with the goal kick. Second ball breaks. Canade has it. He goes back to Virgil. To Georgie. At least they know he's left footed this time and they're going back to his right foot. Gakpo. He's dispossessed. Tries to control it and lay it off, but he goes to the ground. Wirtz now closing down Kelleher, who goes long upfield. And again, out comes Georgie. Well played to Connor Bradley. You should have done better with that, Connor. Come on, boys, settle in. PD Highward said, we need to win tonight. His hubby's giving me grief. He's a United fan. Oh, definitely. I'm with you. We need to win. We can't be below United in the league table. So, yeah, we need to put hubby in his place, don't we? Another long throw in coming here from Brentford. Collins up from the back. Iyara's up. And here it comes. That is some throw, boys. 1-0 Brentford. Fuck me. 1-0 Brentford. Long throw in, and the damage is done, and we're 1-0 down. Utara, I think it is. 1-0 down already. Long throw in, flicked on, second ball, we lose it, 1-0. I need to see this to see who should be coming for this because... Right, it's a belter of a throw-in, by the way. Very direct. Great distance on it. No. Virgil loses the header. I don't think that's close enough to the keeper to him to come for it. So actually it's Ekitike that loses the header. Yeah, and then the second ball again. Look, why is Kerkez always facing the wrong way, by the way? He's always facing the wrong way and has to turn around to try and make a block. But there we go. Expect Arnold to moan about this after the game because, you know, teams aren't allowed to have long throw-ins according to our manager. But they're 1-0 down already, 6 minutes in. Fuck me. Salah now, wide right. Cross in. Free kick out. Referee said there was collision and it's a free kick to Brentford. What do we work on from set pieces and training? Honestly. Do they just go around high-fiving each other? Because it looks like we're not prepared to deal with long throw-ins again. They've had 2 already in the game and they've scored from one of them. And it's a second ball as well. Like, Verge is throwing himself towards it. Look, Verge is throwing himself towards this and he's nowhere near the ball. And then we've got Kerkez who has to turn around to face up his man and then it's hooked into the goal. It's just not good enough again. Comical defending. Has nothing to do with training. These things are unlucky. Nah, I'm not having that, mate. Sorry. Of course it has to do with training. You know what's going to... So you don't think teams train for what's going to come during the week? They know these long throw-ins are coming. And we should know exactly who to be looking out for. And we should know exactly who's marking who. So I'm sorry, it's not unlucky. We have conceded so many from set pieces, mate, that I'm not having that it's unlucky. It's just shocking defending again. It's 100% a 4-4-2, by the way. It's definitely a 4-4-2 because Bradley's holding the width. Come on, boys. Kelleher clears it. It's flicked on by Szoboszlai back towards Jones. On the throw-in, you say our goalkeeper could have kicked it further up the field. If you want to blame anybody for the throw-in, blame Bradley, because he should have controlled it. Easy for Bradley to control that and clear it, but he didn't. He made a mess of controlling it and we gave away the throw-in. So, again, if we're going to be critical, let's be fair who we're being critical of. Bradley was the one that gave away the throw-in. Jones. Wirtz. Lovely ball into Bradley. Out to Salah. Salah puts in a cross straight through to Kelleher. It's just, I'm still so shocked. Yet again, we find a way to concede first. It's almost as if we don't know going away from home, 8 p.m. kickoff against Brentford at home, that they're going to start fast and they're going to be direct. It's like it's a surprise to us. Jones now. Szoboszlai. To Kerkez. 9.5 minutes on the clock. It's already Brentford 1, Liverpool 0. Virgil. Jones. Back to Mamardashvili. Georgie goes long. Second ball breaks. Gakpo. Salah. He collides with Kelleher, but they're both okay, thankfully. Looked like Salah got a little nudge in the back there. But unlucky again. So Georgie goes long. Liverpool win the second ball. Gakpo slips it through. And Salah's losing his footing straight away. He's kind of always leaning forward and losing his footing. And there's kind of momentum. There's no touching him, to be fair. He's just losing his footing and he goes into Kelleher. Gaming Gaz said, how's things? Great starts. In my normal life, Gaz, can't complain. Football-wise, well, you know yourself, mate. Not great for us, as I'm sure you can see. You are delayed. No, I'm not. YouTube is. There's always a built-in delay with YouTube by about 10 seconds, mate. I'm watching the game live on TNT Sports, so I can't do anything more. Jones. Kerkez. Again, state of that from Kerkez. Fuck's sake. Kerkez plays it back to Mamardashvili, but he almost gives away a corner. And Georgie did well to keep it in play. Bradley now. Ball in field to Wirtz. Unlucky. Nearly had Salah in. Just hit the defender's trailing leg. Unlucky. Come on, boys. Scratching Claimer said, never seen a team so allergic to clean sheets. I know, mate. What always gets me as well is it's like we're surprised that the home team starts quickly and goes direct. Ball across to Kerkez. He goes out wide towards Salah. I don't know where he cushions that pass to, but it goes straight to a Brentford player. I think it's Damsgaard. Come on, boys. Fight for the second balls. If we are playing and it looks like a 4-4-2, Salah's still pulling too far wide for me. Jack said 3-1 Liverpool prediction. Well, I hope you're right, Jack. I hope you're right, bro. Jones now goes out right side to Soboslai. Back to Jones. Cross to Virgil. Kerkez to Gakpo. Back inside to Wirtz. Again, unlucky. It's a couple of times Wirtz has tried to play balls around the corner and he's caught the defenders trading on leg. Now Brentford looking to play out. Come on, press, press. Keep going, Cody, press. Acentino said, all of the players we purchased all play like crap so far this year. I wouldn't say all of them, mate. I don't think Ekatike's played like crap, to be fair. Switch here from Brentford. Kerkez does well. Does well to get a touch in there. Back four playing their own game again, said Tony Marsland. I honestly can't believe how easy we were, Tony, to concede from a set piece. Soboslai, centre of the park. Out left side to Gakpo. Soboslai, Kerkez. Again, Soboslai across to Canade. Come on, boys, quicker. Quicker. Again, not this sideways crap. Quickly, direct. There you go, Dom. Take a man on. Don't be afraid. Salah, Jones, Bradley. Henry said, how Slot picks Milos after Robertson put in a good shift in midweek. I don't understand sometimes. Neither do I. I think every single one of us would have gone for Robertson, bro. So I agree with you, Henry, but I think we got a hint midweek when Slot did say about Kerkez and league games in his presser. Speaking of which, here is Kerkez, the Gakpo. The Bumba Dog said, has Slot lost the dressing room? This just seems to be shock period and not one that the players are responding to. Look, I'm disappointed that we went a goal down. Of course I am. But there's plenty of this game to go, yeah. And if we can turn it around, great. But we still do need to stop conceding so early and cheaply. Salah again giving the ball away. This time trying to pick out his fellow centre forward. And it's intercepted by a Brentford player. Jesus Christ. Virgil now playing a hospital pass to Kerkez. Lads, wake up. Who was Virgil giving out to there, by the way? It's your fault, Virgil. It's your fucking fault, bro. Don't be giving out to somebody else because you gave him a hospital pass. Ricky Keeley said, what an evening as United fan. Decent win for us. Liverpool 1-0 down. Boxing the UFC and some F1 qualifying tonight and an extra hour in bed. Yeah, it's not too shabby, mate. It's not too shabby at all. I'm recording the boxing myself. Well, I say I'm recording it. I bought it and I'll watch it back on the zone. Tom, thank you, mate, as well. Appreciate you. Tom Scullion. Brentford throw in inside their own half. 16.5 minutes on the clock. And yes, your eyes aren't deceiving you. It is Brentford 1-0 up. Goal kick. Brentford. Ricocheted off Salah. Went over Kelleher's crossbar. Collins now. Again, back to Kelleher. Press, press, press. Come on, boys, press. There you go. And of course, Salah gives it away again. Gakpo. Jones. Bradley. Every touch from Salah just looks heavy and off. Wirtz now. Kerkez. Back to Virgil. Ekitike. Nobody near him, so he has to go back to our keeper. Back to Ekitike, but again, there's nobody there to support him, so he has to go back to the keeper. When did we start saying that slot is the issue? Some are already saying that, bro. Look, I don't know, but it's difficult, man. It's difficult because I get it. I totally understand where you're coming from. You know, if I hear him moaning about directness and low blocks, he can honestly do one, because this is no surprise to us what we've come up against. A direct team who knows they can get at us, and we look like we weren't prepared for it again. Footy Banter said I want Klopp back. I just want a defence that can keep a clean sheet. Right, come on, boys. Second balls. Bradley. Out to Salah. Salah. Back to Wirtz. HFMCE said Slots' obsession with Kerkez will be our downfall and Salah is finished, admit it. I don't think he's finished yet, mate. I think he's slowed down a lot, but I'm not yet at a point to write him off. But should he be starting? I can't really argue with anyone that says no. Wirtz. Ball in. Wirtz. Oh! Left foot strike from Wirtz goes just wide of the post, and he should have scored that. Ekitike backheeled it. It ricocheted off a Brentford player. Fell into the path of Florian Wirtz, who's about 15 yards out, 12, 13 yards out actually, and he hits it left-footed quickly. Oh, just bends the wrong side of the post. Unlucky. Brewer Scott said Robbo needs to start. I agree. Look, my 11 would have had Robbo in it and would have had Chiesa in it. So, I don't disagree with people who were talking about, you know, some of the changes that the manager's made that he maybe shouldn't have. But, you know, all we can do at the minute is kind of tough it out and see if we can find a way back into this game. C. Moodley said we needed Robbo and Chiesa at the start. Again, I agree. You see my team selection, mate. I agree. But I'm not surprised that the manager's played Salah. Advantage here being played. Soboslai. Bradley's the ball. Back in. And we waste another decent attacking opportunity. Now, the man, he's got to get a yellow card out here. Come on. How is there not a yellow there for the foul that he allowed advantage on? Wirtz to Soboslai. Out to Cody Gakpo. Gakpo puts in a ball, flicked on by Ekitike, but wide. Better. We're starting to create some more. You know, we have wrestle control of the game. We're starting to create more, but just not found that breakthrough yet to get back in. Right, goal kick. Kelleher goes along with it. Brentford win the flick on. Second ball drops to Jones in midfield. Jones. Szoboszlai to Jones. Back out to Bradley. Ball in behind. Ekitike can't really control it. Kind of shoulders it. Second ball's cleared by Brentford. Gakpo. To Jones. Jones across to Kerkez. Have a run at him, Milos. Have a run at him. Fucking turning inside again. All our passes are like 2 yards behind our players and we're making ourselves scurry back and then we're slowing it down again. Virgil. Gakpo. Jones makes the run. Not Jones, sorry. The run was made ahead of him, but he ignores him and goes back to Jones. Yeah, I don't need to see the fireworks there. Thanks, cameraman. The ball's in play. Can we look at the ball? Jones. Go on, Jones. Back to Gakpo. Szoboszlai. HFMCE said Salah needs to be replaced, but we all know that fraud won't use Chiesa. Defence of the title will be over before Christmas. Henry said, apart from Frankfurt, when was our last good match? We had about 30 minutes. We played well against Atleti, but I don't think we've had one very, very good dominant performance this season yet. Where, Frankfurt are a weak opposition. We should have been beating them. They've had a few slappings this season. So, Virgil, the Gakpo. Gakpo cuts in again. Strike, wide. 24 minutes gone. Brentford 1, Liverpool 0. And we're knocking on the door, but we're not really testing Kelleher much. Again, Cody Gakpo gets into a position here and he shoots and not on target. Can't drop Salah. Issue goes back to pre-slot. Well, look, we haven't really played well since February, March, if we're being honest. I know we'd won the league at that point pretty much, but we haven't played particularly well since back then. Yarmolenko down here for Brentford, getting a bit of treatment, so game stopped at the minute. TSM Mars said Salah needs to be benched until his head's back in. Right, anyway, goal kick Brentford with 25 and a half on the clock. Still Liverpool really to force Kelleher into a meaningful save, although we've been dominating territory lately, not really making the keeper work. Acentino said if they lose, does the sack slots talk start? I'm just frustrated watching with the team. I think we need to be proactive with our season. Again, I tried to explain this last week, mate. I don't know when I get to the point where I talk about a manager being fired because it's not something I've actually had to think about or discuss since I start making content. So honestly, I'm not there yet. But oh fuck me, Milos. Kerkez gets slipped in, gets to the byline, and then plays the most pathetic attempt at a cross that's straight at Kelleher. There's a great ball as well in behind. Just pull it back to Gakpo, man. He's begging for it. It's wasteful again. Szoboszlai. Again, gifts the ball straight to a Brentford player. HFMCE said, club indulged in Salah main character syndrome. Gary Vice says, idea, Gakpo right, Salah left. Both go to the line more. I definitely feel like we need to go to the line more. I've been saying this over and over, but there we got to the byline. And Kerkez was in a good position, but just wasted the cross. I am Mike said, can't help but feel like we got duped last season. As a Liverpool fan in Asia, it's tiresome to stay up to 5 a.m. for these crap games we should win. It's not over yet though, dude. Like, I understand your frustration, but the game isn't over. We've not started well. We shouldn't be behind, but we allowed them to get an early goal from a set piece. But it isn't over yet. If we lose this game, look, you know me, I'll be as honest as I can in my assessment of it afterwards. But right now, let's just hope we can turn it around and figure out a way. We've had plenty of territory. We just haven't really made the keeper work. So yet again there, we've got Canade dealing with an attack and he puts the ball out for a throw rather than hooking it forward. Surely at this point, a defender should know if we're going to put the ball out, up the pitch as far as possible rather than just tapping it out sideways for another long throw in. Tim said, watch along is great. W community, great work. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate you, my man. And here comes another long throw in. And again, Canada could have hooked that upfield, but he puts it straight out and he gives them another chance to go direct. Look at this. Bouncing up and down ain't going to do shit, lads. Man mark and stop them from getting on the ball. Just jumping up and down your toes, nonsense. And Najee said, do you think Slot surfed last year on Klopp's success and now we're seeing who he is really? No, I don't, because like I said, Klopp didn't win the league with the same team the season before, so I think Slot did prevent injuries more last season. But look, any manager coming in under a new manager's team, you know, he won the league, so we can't ask much more from him than that. But this season's just not been good enough, Najee. There's no denying that, bro. It's not been good enough. Joseph said, I don't even think we've played too badly today. We're just being wasteful again. Salah. Back to Bradley. Yeah, just been wasteful, Joseph, mate. We haven't really turned the territory we've had into chances. Virgil, the Kerkez. Oh, again, look, Kerkez is just like a headless chicken running around the pitch. Everything with Kerkez is just a little bit too fast, and then it's catching himself and everybody else around him out. C. Moodley said, questionable selections, but we're so wasteful too. And Nicklaus said, gaps between attack, mid and defence too big. Yeah, that's a fair point. Cross in, Virgil heads it away. Again though, second ball, Brentford win. Half an hour gone, Brentford 1-0 up. Again, look at the space there. Nobody within 5 yards of the Brentford player as he receives the ball. Another cross in. Salah now defending. Goes into the right channel looking for Wirtz, but that's fucking overhit and nowhere near him. Oh, God almighty. Kelleher. Out to Collins. Oh, lads, come on, Gakpo. He just walked past you, mate, and you looked at him. Again, look, Wirtz, put a challenge in, you lazy fucker. Fuck me. Our boys looking on as Brentford players just walk past them. Oof. Henderson with a strike there, drags it wide of Marmadashvili's post, but again, unchallenged as he gets the strike away. Look, what? 10 yards. 10 yards. Nearest player to Jordan Henderson when he peaks that ball up. 10 yards. Kieran Lorgan said, if Hendo scored, I'd have just logged off and gone to sleep. I don't blame you, mate. Remember that Philly? Again. Second balls, we're losing. And there's Kerkez in the book. Fucking hell, Milos! Just one poxy game, bro. One game without a yellow card, bro. Just one. Out of position again, and he's on a yellow. So that'll be him coming off. Dude, he's like a headless chicken. I really swear to God. Every fucking time. He gets too far advanced, then he's always trying to track back. His brain and his feet just aren't connected. Jones. Oh, Jesus, boys. Come on! Rob said, my dad went full regarded the goal and turned the TV off and threw the remote to fire. Thank God for the fire guard. Only tuning back in now. Mate, I've smashed, like your dad, I've smashed many a remote control over the last 10 years watching the Reds. Oh, that's it, Virgil. You just let the ball bounce, dickhead. Don't do anything about it. Just stand there behind your man and let it bounce, Virgil. Where's the aggression? Where's the fucking aggression in our defending? Non-existent. Now there'll be another long throw in to deal with. Based on the eye test, I can see nothing that tells me this coach will turn it around and get us back in the title race. Awful wingers and left back. Just a game, pal. Then fuck off and not watch. That's what your point is, like. You stay at home and be as calm as you want, bro. I'm annoyed by it. It's not just a game to me. It's not just a game to most of us here. It's the highlight of our week, and unfortunately, there's not much to be highlighting at the minute. But it's not just a game. Football's really important to me. Again, second ball! Fuck me. So weak. This is honestly idiotic. Every second ball we lose, every fucking one, we just haven't got the aggression in our play. Every single time. Second ball, we're second to it. Kev Parker said, be looking to get Conference League with this team. Come on, press. Press. Another Brentford throw in. Now Verts decides to just kick it straight out for a throw in. Another long throw in coming up. No, actually they go short with it and still manage to get it back. Cross in, blocked. Gakpo. That's it, lad. You pussy out of the fucking second ball again. This is honestly pathetic. Every one of our players haven't got the balls to go full throated for the second ball. Look at Gakpo here again. Pussying out of the challenge. Just not good enough. Just not good enough. Lewis said, yet again, Salah and Kerkez not good enough. To be fair, mate, I don't know where to go with Salah on this one because the whole team isn't playing well. You know, Kerkez is shocking, but I'm struggling to put this one on Salah. He's not really done much wrong, to be honest, but we're losing every single 50-50. Kerkez, I agree with. Absolutely all over the shop. I like Kerkez, but I put Jimmy Traore on if he was available. Jack Nichols says, excuse me, same old crap, we've forgotten how to play. I'm Mike, so I always appreciate your honesty. Hope staying up will be worth it. Love you and love the community. Loads of love from the Philippines. Thank you. I'm Mike. Mate, it's not looking great at the minute, is it? You know, it's a long way back for us at this point. We just look... I don't like to use the word cowardly, but I'm not understanding how we're losing every feckin' second ball here. Look, they're playing through us again. Verge, well done. Second ball, though. Drop, strike. Oh, great save, Georgie. Great save. Damsgaard hit that. That was going in top bins, and Georgie comes across with a good, strong hand. Great save. But look, state of that from Virgil. The state of that from our captain. Lazy, half-arsed clearance again, Verge. Is he afraid to get dirty or something? Because it's... For the size of him, lads, it's just... This is just horseshit. Horseshit. The bleeding state of it. Cross in. Goal kick. John said, great conversing with you last night. Thank you. If right, Mo's wife, comment on social media, or him still grieving. If so, he shouldn't play. So I'm with you on that, John. Like, I don't think any of us would have an issue if a player's still grieving and struggling, mate. They're human beings. And lovely chatting with you as well, bro. And thank you so much for your email. But yeah, look, I'd have no problem. I don't think any of us would. If a player or two was struggling, grieving, absolutely give them the support they need. But you're right, they also shouldn't be playing at that point if they're struggling. You know, it's a very understandable thing that we'd all be sympathetic for, but Wirtz now. Gakpo. Jones. Out to Kerkez. Cross in. Second ball drops back. Jones. Strike. Oh, straight at Kelleher. Unlucky. Scratching Claimer said, we miss Trent. Fair's passing ability place in opposing teams. Now defenders can focus on doubling Salah rather than closing down Trent. We definitely do miss him. I think Salah misses him a lot as well in the setup play. But, mate, look, for me, there's a lot we can complain about, but the lack of aggression and the lack of winning second balls to me just isn't good enough. Acentino said, it feels like nobody cares for the badge. Slot awful. Borom said, we're playing like headless scared chickens. Well, especially Kerkez. He is absolutely all over the shop. And I'll be amazed if he comes out for the second half. Jones. 3.5 minutes plus stoppage time left. Still trailing from that early goal, which came via a long throw-in. And here we are giving the ball away in midfield again. Wirtz giving it away, trying to play it to Szoboszlai. Well done, Dom. That's better, fella. Dom gets back to win it back. Well done, fella. Ekatike now, he decides to forget the football as he throws himself to the ground. This is painful. Kenny said, I know as a Liverpool fan, these lot have been dreadful, but what positives would you take from this season, if you have any with these lads? Look, I would say a positive, Kenny, is there's the players that we've signed are too good to fail. But whatever's happening now, it ain't working. I do think ultimately long term, when Isak settles in, Wirtz settles in, I think we will be better. But it's slim pickings to find positives. this season so far, except for Ekitike's good start to his career. Apart from that, not much. Gakpo, back to Virgil. Szoboszlai, and I think actually Szoboszlai's form has been good as well this season, to give him credit. And I guess maybe if we're really pushing the boat out, we could say Jones has progressed a bit as well. Bradley. Jones. Ekitike. Bradley. Jones. Ball drilled across low. Cleared. This is better. We should be doing more of this, in my opinion. More of winning these. Or direct runs to the byline, drilling in low crosses. Szoboszlai. Still Szoboszlai. Right side of the penalty area to Bradley. Jones. Canade. Across to Kerkez. Kerkez out to Gakpo. Wirtz. Back to Gakpo. Penalty. No. Did he get the ball? No, he got the ball. Apologies. It was a good challenge. I thought he got the man and not the ball, but it was a good challenge. Fuck. That was a good bit of play as well. Good little 1-2 and good build-up play. Oh my God, Kerkez, you absolute donut. Diving header. Nearly giving the ball away. Joseph said, here's us thinking we're too good for long throws. Savour the Flavour said, FJ, feck it, I can't take this shite anymore. This, off to watch Aspinall smash Gain in the face. Enjoy, sir, enjoy. .30 seconds of normal time left in the first half, and although we've again got into some decent positions, we've not really tested Kelleher at all. Gakpo. Jones. Look at that again. These little sharp 1-2s, and we give it straight back to Brentford. Now they're in behind. Now they're straight in on goal. 1-on-1. And it's 2-0 Brentford. Fuck off! You absolute shithouses! 2-0 Brentford from us giving the ball away again. I say it so many goddamn times. Why are we so shit in possession? Every fucking time we turn over the ball, we concede. For the love of God, sort it out. Sort it out, you fucking clowns. Yet again, in possession, give it away, concede. It's so easy. It's so damn easy for opposition teams. Look at this. Look at this shit. One ball and Virgil and Canade are taken out. One ball. Again, we give it away in midfield. Ekitike with a loose touch, and now we're 2-0 down right before half time. Absolute fucking clowns. And that should have been a penalty. That should have been a penalty. There was no touch on that ball. That's a penalty. How was that not given? How was that not given? What the fuck is VAR there for? How was that not given as a penalty, you fucking clowns? What is the point of VAR? Every time Hooper is in our fucking game, we get shafted. Ashley said, what on earth has happened to this team? I don't know, mate. I don't know, but it's a fucking comedy of errors. Hunter said, what's going on with Liverpool? Really, it's a joke. Get that donkey Kerkez off, said Tony. Two 0 down. Fuck me. So, Regular viewers of the channel will know I say this all the time, but we're our own worst enemies in possession. How many of our chances we give up and goals that we concede come from us being caught in possession in midfield? You know, regular viewers will know this has been a bugbear of mine for a very, very long time. We are so susceptible to counters when we're in possession. Joseph said we're pass backwards FC, shoot for once. My opinion's your opinion, okay. Well, Duel is an Irish and myself. Something is off with Slot. What's your thoughts on him? Look, something's off with the whole team, dude. Something's off with the whole team. We just don't look at it. We look at 6s and 7s out there. We look second best to almost every ball. And it's just not good enough. Fair play to Brentford, by the way, you know, but there's serious questions have to be asked of our defence and our midfield. Bradley now. That's it. Check back, mate, because that's what we fucking need. Going backwards again when the clock's against us. That's genius stuff. Get the ball forward, for the love of God! Bradley. Low cross. Ekatike. Flick. Goal! Yes! Kerkez. One back. Come on! Come on! 2-1. Kerkez pulls one back with a late run inside. 2-1. Now we're back in it. Come on! About time he does something useful. About time. Follows it in. Late run. Far post. Right foot into the roof of the goal. 2-1. Come on! Lovely little flick as well from Ekatike. And well done, Milos, coming in at the far post. Who's he booking? I don't know who Hooper's. Hooper's booked somebody. I don't know who it is. Half time, refs blown up. Half time. I've no idea who he booked, by the way. But half time, it's 2-1 Brentford. At least we've pulled one back in to give us something in the second half. Owen said, this is unwatchable. I'd rather watch the UFC pay-per-view than this. Aspinall first round KO. Slaughter's going to blame it on the low block. Great goal, Brentford. Great goal, Brentford. Liverpool are the new United. Look, we deserve any banter that comes our way. I'm seeing loads of it in the chat, and that's fine. We deserve it. Like, I don't mind a bit of banter, you know. If this was an opposition team and they would actually, I'd be giving it. So I'm absolutely fine to take it. And anybody coming in to have a bit of banter with us, fair play. But from our perspective, man, it's just, again, how is it every time we give the ball away, we give up chances? Every time. It's like Virgil and Canade don't know what to do. They played one ball in between their two centre-backs, and the distance between them was about 15 feet. And they're straight in again, one-on-one on goal. It's just, it's comical stuff. Darren said, Arna reverts back, fed up, time to go Slot. Will said, this is disturbing how we've become a bang average team after winning the Prem. Was it just Klopp bounce and we're now seeing the real Slot? Honestly, Will, I don't know, mate. But look, how can I argue against any of you who are saying we're shit or not playing well? You know, I can't. I'm as angry and frustrated as any of you. Because the thing that gets me the most is that we're so lethargic in our aggression. Like, there is no clattering into players. There is no determination to win those second balls. It is just nonsensical. It's just half-arsed. It's not good enough. The Emir 555 said only 3 minutes at a time when they took 10 taking the throw. Real Person Jedi said this is unacceptable by Liverpool standards. Galileo said all Arna had to do was not use 4-2-3-1 formation. TSM Mars said Kerkez of all people, at least we got something back. He should still be taken off at half time, in my opinion, Kerkez, because he's been nothing but a liability out there, and him scoring a goal doesn't change that for me, and I would dare say for most of you as well. So look, before we get stuck into some more comments and stuff, ladies and gents, a couple of quick things. If you can, do hit that subscribe button for me. We really appreciate you being here with us. And of course, if you're a Liverpool fan tonight, it's not going our way so far. 45 minutes left to turn it around, and we best do it because we can't lose any more ground in the league. You know, if you're an opposition fan coming in to laugh at us, we probably deserve your banter, and welcome in as well. And if you are enjoying the stream, do hit that like button. Tipsy Dipsy said, if we lose this, Slot should be under pressure. Nessie said, we can't score if we want to. Slot is slowing us. Somehow Hooper made both fans boo him. Special trait that he has that. Look, on the Arne Slot stuff, I don't know when I'm going to be angry enough to say the manager needs a change. I don't know is the honest answer. But it isn't good enough. That much is undeniable. And, you know, the headlines here are going to be about Salah again and Kerkez. Kerkez deserves it. But outside of that, I don't really think Salah is the problem today, because we're just not creating enough in the penalty area, full stop. You know, if you look at this game, Wirtz probably should have scored, and he dragged it wide. Gakpo, again, has been cutting in and shooting rather than looking for a teammate. My problem with the game today is the defence in the midfield, particularly the defence. To know we're coming up against long throw-ins, and our captain... Look, I hate zonal marking. I've said it for years. Jumping up and down on your toes is bullshit. I'm old school. You pick a man, he's your man. If he scores, you're going to hear about it from me. And it's just, it's like we're surprised that teams are going to go direct. What do we work on in training? All day, what do we work on? We know what Brentford are going to do. They're a big physical team. They're going to go direct. They're going to go long. And Arna cry arses about it like it's against the rules of the game. No, mate, if people know that's a weakness, they're going to look to exploit it. Same way we look to exploit an opposition's weakness, but it's comical that we can't find a way to stop it. Our captain just looks like he can't be arsed getting his shorts dirty. It's all just not good enough. Kerkez is a liability at the minute. How he's still on that pitch, I do not know. And of course he's picked up a yellow card. Roger said somehow Hooper's made both fans boo him. Jack Nichols said the crowd are chanting chi 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 and booing as Hooper never blew the whistle. For what, half time? Well, to be fair, they scored a goal, so that's another break. And look, if I'm being honest with you, I was expecting them to blow the whistle as well. But we managed to grab a goal back, and as a Liverpool fan, I'm obviously not going to be upset about us grabbing a goal back. At least gives us something now to go out there to try and fight for the second half. Alec Charkness said, Craig, mate, how can Kerkez start today when Gomez can play either side and Robertson is tried and trusted? I don't know. Look, Robertson should have started this game, especially based off the performance in midweek. I don't have an answer on that one, Alec, as I agree with you 100%, mate. Opinion on the pen. You see, I think it was a penalty, but others think it was a dive. I think he caught his left foot. But either way, I'm not using that as an excuse, because, again, the performance is the problem. You know, you can make up your own mind whether you think it was a penalty or not. If you think it was, great. If you think it wasn't, great. But it wasn't given. And once again, we give away the ball in the middle of the park, and within a couple of passes, they're through on goal and we concede. And that is unacceptable, because it's happened over and over and over. And it happened under Jurgen, and it's happening under Arne. Every time we're in the middle of the park with the ball, we give it away, we're giving up opportunities because of stupid slack passes. And it fucking winds me up. That, and again, looking like we don't know how to deal with a set piece. I'm looking at the pen right now. It's really difficult to say from the angle I'm seeing. Maybe this one. Let's have a look. I see contact with Gakpo's left foot before Gakpo even puts down his left foot. So for me, honestly, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. I can't say with any level of certainty one way or the other on the penalty. I can't say it one way or the other. I think it was a penalty. I'm not sure whether that's my Liverpool bias or not. But ultimately, it's irrelevant. We still conceded the chance and conceded the goal. And that part isn't good enough. A few more super chats to get into. Owen Mulhern said, Slot is under serious pressure now. I always felt Klopp won us the league last year. Know Your Threat said, it's all on Slot's formation. Salah and Kerkez off. So for me, I'm as disappointed with Salah this season as anybody. But I don't think today he's the problem. I'm not saying he's the solution, by the way. But if I'm looking out there and talking about poor performances, well, I don't think Gakpo's been great. I think Kerkez has been shocking. And I don't think Jones has been as good as he was midweek. And our two centre-backs are an absolute piss take at this point. So, you know, yeah, I look at it's hard for me to push back against anybody's comments who's disappointed, because you're right to be disappointed. Like, you're a Liverpool fan and you should expect better. But I honestly, hand on heart, don't think this is on Salah. Not today. It's not like he's been missing sitters. It's not like he hasn't been squaring it to people. He just had nothing in this game yet. So, for me, no blame on Salah in this one. Certainly, Arna needs to figure this shit out. And Kerkez, he's on a yellow. And again, it's an accident waiting to happen. So, I think he has to come off. Squeak Talk Sports said, and thank you, mate, as always, 21's with us as a member. Defence needs sorting ASAP. These tactics just straight up don't work. Why not stick with what won us game midweek? Need Fede and Robbo on ASAP. So what gets me, Squeak, is we start every game slowly, as if it's going to be a surprise that the home team are going to come at us 100 miles an hour. And we seem to want 15 minutes to warm into a game. Whereas under Jurgen, in the early days in particular, we were out of the traps 100 miles an hour. Aggressive, in your face. The press looks semi-non-existent out there. It looks like a half-arsed press. We're not defending from the front, and we can't defend at the back. How Arna figures this out is on him. But if he loses this game, how can anybody push back against people who are upset with the manager if we lose this game? You know, I'm as angry as anybody, but I couldn't be angry at anybody who thinks the manager is part of this problem at this point, because it's his decision-making of team selection that's rewarding mediocrity. And he doesn't seem to have the balls to make tough calls and do it consistently. So that's what I'm annoyed about. I'm annoyed about the fact that Chiesa, it's almost criminal at this point that he's not getting starts. Again, whether it's for Salah or anybody else, it doesn't matter. Just him on his own, it's ridiculous. We've no competition at centre-back, so both lads can just drift through games. Just not good enough. Just not good enough. Craig, admit it, you want Klopp back. I said midweek, mate, I'd take Klopp back. So it's no breaking news. I'd take Klopp back no matter who was our manager. It's not anti-Arna, it's just pro-Klopp. So yes, if Klopp was there, I'd take him back tomorrow. But I said this for the last couple of weeks. Blah said, somebody slap a Johnny on Brentford. Liverpool need the defence. Carl said, we'll turn this round and win. I mean, I think that's more optimism, Carl, than, you know, belief from what we're seeing, mate. I hope we do, but we're a long way off it. Worst champions ever? Well, that's just bullshit. I mean, that's just a ridiculous statement to make. I mean, what are we now? 9 league games into the season. I dare say you could look at Leicester and their season after they won the league. City last year. So, again, I know you probably don't like Liverpool, but it's just an over-the-top statement. Paul Beer said defence, defence, defence. One way of looking at it, if we don't have a good, proper defensive midfielder who can protect the centre-backs, the players don't want to get stuck into 50-50. Slot should have the balls to say why he doesn't pick Chiesa. I agree with that, MB. Yeah, I agree with what you've said, mate. There's no logical reason that I can think of, that probably that you guys can think of, that Fede shouldn't be playing games. None. I would take Gakpo off and put Rio Engamoa on as well. But do I think that's going to happen? Probably not. Benjamin said people are hammering Kerkez, but VVD, oh my God, one last payday contract, it feels like it. Kerkez is 21 years old and VVD is destroying him. We have to bring Joe Gomez on and Chiesa. It was a penalty too. So Virgil hasn't covered himself in glory. That's more than fair, Benjamin. But Kerkez has been like a headless chicken out there. But if you add both of them together on the left-hand side, it's just a recipe for trouble, isn't it? Adam said, hi Craig, hope you're having a good day. Bar the footy. I can't complain, Adam, mate, but bar the footy, like you said. Game in Gaza, great game. Come on, Brentford. So we have a poll running on the penalty where we're asking you penalty, yes, no, or unsure. So do have your vote on that one. Leo J. Matt said, if somebody puts a gun to my head and asks how to fix this team, tell my family I love them. Never seen a team forget how to play football. So, yeah, look, man, it's difficult because, like we've said, we have to keep mentioning the Diogo Jota impact. But at the same time, like John said earlier on, if there are players particularly struggling about that, well, they should be given time aside and, allowed to grieve and work through it in their own time. But to continue to just do the same things over and over again with selections and, this is Arna's first big test in his whole managerial career, not just his Liverpool managerial career, in his whole managerial career. And so far, he's not up to the task. He just isn't. He won the league last year and that was incredible. But this year, he got given the money in the summer to bring in the players that he wanted. And it looks like he has absolutely no idea what to do and how to utilise those players. Yes. But will he get the time? Well, no, not if these performances keep coming up. Wes said, I just don't understand this team. Bams9 said, Kerkez and Salah off. Craig, what do you think around the manager using the same formation, not repeating a winning team? I'm having doubts, same as everybody else, about Slot's decision-making, stubbornness, and inability to stop the rot. It's one thing beating a very poor Frankfurt team away from home, but we need to, we should, if we want to be contenders for the Champions League, Premier League, we should be looking to go to Brentford and win games of football. And to concede so quickly, knowing how direct they're going to be, it's just a piss take, and it's week after week. NO1OR Beats said, bring 4-4-2 back. It's not Real Madrid we're facing. Bring Robbo for Kerkez and Chiesa on for Salah. So I think that game was more of a 4-4-2 in the first half, but Salah was still drifting too wide for me. He wasn't getting close enough to Ekitike, in my opinion. And again, he's on the periphery of the game. Mackie said, funny to see United fans in here. That's not really, to be fair. This is what football fandom's about. Bit of banter. United fans are in slagging us when we lose. We're in slagging them when they're losing. It is what it is. And I'll never pull up anybody in the chat like that who's an opposition fan who just wants to come in and laugh at us, because we deserve to be laughed at. Let's be honest about it. We are a laughing stock for a genuine reason at the minute. And I don't blame them for coming in and bantering us. I would in their position as well. Slayer said, Slot is the most overrated manager to win the league. He doesn't even look angry. There's no philosophy. He keeps picking Salah and no Chiesa is out of order. No argument in the second and the last part of what you've said. Ultimately, look, if he doesn't fix it and figure it out, he's going to get sacked sooner or later. So it's on him to prove that he has the stones for the job. It's easy to manage when things are going well, but this is a challenge for him, and we're going to find out fairly soon if he's up for it or not. Worked so good, 4-4-2, Y slot Y, said FC Pitchside. Lewis said, if you got the sack, what manager would be good? Iriola, I wouldn't say no to at this point. But hand on heart, I haven't really given it that much thought, mate. I said midweek I'd take Klopp back tomorrow. But at the moment, Iriola is probably, one of the names I'd be considering. But Hugh Jones said, forwards not tracking back or putting in the challenges, woeful. Nightmare to the AM said, hi Craig, hope we either draw or win this. So do I. I don't even think a draw is good enough at this point. A draw maybe in the circumstances of going 2-0 down is good enough, but not based off what we were expecting going into the game. I don't think it is, but appreciate you being in. Benjamin said, Arna has to go if we lose today and against City. I worry. We're abysmal, mate. We're slow, boring and lost our Jurgen bite. So yeah, I keep forgetting that we've got Manchester City coming up after Aston Villa next. So, 2 difficult games again. If we lose this, he deserves to be under pressure. I'm not at the point of sacking him yet, but yeah, he deserves to be under pressure. And if we lose this, that pressure is only going to intensify. So the referee's injured apparently. So we're going to have a change of referee for the second half. A pathetic United above Liverpool. Jeez. I know, mate, but league tables don't lie, do they? Ronald Portillo said, I don't know what I'm watching, Craig. Worst Liverpool game I've seen in years. Shocking display so far. Unbelievable. Being outplayed by Brentford. Yeah, so it seems like that big Virgil van Dijk showdown conversation with the players worked for one game. And here we are again, back to looking shit. So they've got 45 minutes to turn this round. Lewis said, you're awful. Well, you're not wrong, dude. You're not wrong. What would you think about Gakpo being given a go on the right side? I've never been against not having inverted wingers. I think inverted wingers can be predictable and sometimes, call me old-fashioned, but you go around the outside. So I wouldn't be against trying anything that can change the shit we're looking at. Mark Hicks said, I'd rather have kept Tsimikas over Kerkez. For what it's worth, I do think Kerkez will come good long-term. What changes should I make at half-time? Rio and Gamoa on for a start for me. Robertson for Kerkez should be a no-brainer as well. We need a new set-piece coach. It's awful. Where's Chiesa, honestly? I know. Mate, look, no argument for me. Chiesa should be getting minutes. I'm going to try and fly through as many of these as I can. Adam said, Mo isn't playing bad, but he's a passenger, not adding anything dynamic or influencing the game in any way. This is like watching a war movie and waiting for a leader to start yelling, go forward. I get that analogy, I do. I agree, Klopp's team won the league. Much love, Klopp. Kerkez, Salah, Gakpo off, Fede, Rio and Robertson on if Arna has any sense. Rowdy Yates, thank you, mate. John Irving said, zonal marking should be stopped. Slot needs to change to stupid formations. And where's the brilliant mid-game tactics changes gone from last year? Right, we're about to get underway with the second half. Maxim, thank you, bro. Appreciate you. And Matt as well, mate. Thank you. Tyler Martin, 424, said, I just can't believe how bad we are and our defence is shocking. Wirtz is trying to make something happen. Unlucky with a couple of passes, but overall just bad. No disagreement from me. What's up, Sham? Said, Sham, be real. Slot has found out he's a fraud. He had a handy last year with Klopp's side. Now he's capable of doing it on his own tactics. Now he's not capable of doing it on his own tactics. Well, it's difficult to argue back, mate. We got the players he wanted in the summer. It's on him to figure this out. And so far we look, again, so far off it. So let's wait and see. Oh, sorry. We're about to get underway in the second half in a moment. I think a bit longer because of the referee change. Footy Banter said, why doesn't Gomez and Chiesa play? Again, no idea, but it's a fair point you've raised. Ryan Pepper said, if Arna gets sacked, do you think Klopp comes back? I don't, but I wouldn't say no, Ryan. Yeah, I don't think he does, but like I said, I wouldn't say no. And Shiny Lisanne said, greetings from RG Arsenal fan. I'm just here to enjoy the banter. Feel sad for Salah though. Appreciate you coming in and You're fully entitled to your banter. I'd be doing the same if it was the other way around. But thank you for your support of the channel. Right, folks, second half about to get underway. Brian said, let's not forget we were frustrated with Klopp at times. We absolutely were, Brian. There's no denying that. But I guess what's really made this difficult to stomach, mate, is the sheer amount of money and players that Arna's been backed with. And it looks like we've gone backwards so far, adding them in. Right, we're underway, second half. That's one of the stranger kickoffs I've seen. Brentford pass it, then lift the ball up and volley it forward where it goes out for a throw into Liverpool. Genghis Khan said, we'll bounce back, never kick anybody when down. It's not kicking anybody when you have an honest opinion, mate. You know, what do you expect us to say? Of course we wanted to turn around. Of course we want to be better. But you have to be honest of what you're seeing as well. And what we're seeing just isn't good enough. Asentino said, far slot now, no Fede, no Rio, nothing has changed. Clayton's goal said, great chance, great channel, love your passion. Me, my wife, my 12-year-old, love the watch-alongs, keep up the great work. Well, thank you, Clayton, and love to you and your family, sir. Right, Brentford on the attack already. Ball's played in, though. Liverpool have a chance to counter it. Ekitike, to Kerkez, who passes it straight to a Brentford player. I'll give up. 46 minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 46-10. So on a counter-attack there, great chance to square it out left side. 2 players over there, and he puts it straight at the heels of the Brentford player and breaks down the attack. Absolute nonsense again. Simple passes, like, just not good enough. Mark Hicks said, slot decision-making will get him sacked. I'm not... But yes, ultimately, mate, if it doesn't work out, his own tactics and his decisions will get him sacked. Right, another set piece in. Ball breaks through and it'll go far side. Goal kick. I thought it was going out for a corner, but goal kick given. Esioko said we miss Gravenberch. We do. Yeah, we do, of course. But, you know, teams, this is league football. You know, we're not the only team to have injuries. We won't be the first and we won't be the last, and we've got to figure it out. We've added depth to the squad, so, you know, it shouldn't be an excuse for us. Kerkez. Another ball played to the invisible man for Milos. Kelleher goes long. Second ball won there by Jones. Well done, Jones. Kerkez. Why did we go backwards again? Back to Virgil. Virgil back to Mohamed. Come on, boys. Wakey, wakey. Virgil. To Kerkez. Again, back to the keeper. I think there was an injury to the referee, MB. I think Cooper, I don't know exactly what the injury is, but that's why there was a change. Mohamed to Kanade. Again, back. We've wasted about a minute here going back to the keeper. Second ball again. Look, Vert's almost there like he's afraid to challenge for the ball. Just fucking get stuck in, for the love of God. And again, Virgil going backwards. There's fucking 2 players behind you. Oh, this is fucking comedy gold, this is. Virgil has to be the most negative fucking passer of a football. Picks up the ball, 2 Liverpool players over his shoulder. He goes backwards. We play it across the back line and we fuck it up and it goes out for a throw in on the far side to Brentford. All of our own making yet again. Comedy show. Again, every ball, second ball, Salah gets a chance then and then kicks it too far ahead of himself. Wake up, boys. Look. Oh. If Salah just takes a touch there and it isn't fucking 10 yards ahead of him, we're in. Feels like it's going to be a long season. Jones, Canade, Soboslai, back to Jones, to Virgil, out to Kerkez. Can we put a bell on Kerkez so our players know he's going to run into them? Because all I see is him just running and his brain is not as fast as his feet. So we need to put a bell around his neck or something so Liverpool players know when Kerkez is going to run into them. Brentford in possession, ball in field. Of course, we lose the first ball and the second ball. Thiago turns, gets a shot away, but it's okay because Canade pushed them. So, that's great defending from Canade. The old one-arm push. Look at that. Bradley loses the ball. Canade gets turned and too easy. Just put the hand out because that's all he can do to defend. Jones now. To Ekitike. Jones. Kerkez. Canade. It was a misplaced pass, but it found its way to Canade. Soboslai. Bradley. Soboslai. Across to Jones. Gakpo. Back to Jones. Soboslai. Out to Salah wide right. Again, too far away from goal. Salah puts in a shit cross. It doesn't get past the first fucking defender. And rinse and repeat. It's just, that cross from Salah as well was just the height of laziness. Who was he aiming for? There's not even a player within 10 yards of where that ball went. Wirtz. Ekitike, he goes to ground. Nothing given. Ref plays on. Mamardashvili. Soboslai. Again. Back to our keeper, who gives it straight back to Brentford. See, Brentford actually are pressing and causing us trouble, whereas we're half-arsing it again. Ball in. That should have been 3-1 Brentford, only for a heavy touch from Thiago. Mamardashvili comes out and makes the save. But that should have been 3-1. That first touch from Thiago there was awful. If he gets that first touch right, he's a tap-in. And look, Virgil, all he can do is push in the back of him. Fuck, the state of our two centre-backs. Like, honestly, what are they doing? What are they doing? They think putting an arm into the back of a forward is defending. It's fucking shocking. Shocking. Virgil should be ashamed of that. No tracking of runners again. Look, we didn't even jump for that ball. Jones didn't even jump with him for the ball. He just stood there and looked at it. Fuck off. Bradley to Salah. And guess what? He gives it away again. Gives it away again. And Marmarashvili's forced into another great save. Brilliant save, big man. Ball deep. Kanade heads it to another Brentford player. Again, look at this shit. Just walking through us like we're not there. Oh yeah, that's it. Wirtz runs straight into a man as well. Fuck me. Oh yeah, now Wirtz gives away a free kick on the edge of the box. You absolute clown. For fuck's sake. Steen Christensen said, "This is just the start. We're going to be worse if Slot stays. Brentford are better than us. Let that sink in." This again came from Salah giving the ball away. Another chance from Salah giving the ball away, and Marmarashvili was forced into a good save. He gets a yellow card for it as well. So we've got a Brentford free kick here in a very shootable position, right of goal, and a halfway between the D on the edge of the box and the 90-degree angle on the edge of the box. Ref, can we not take 5 minutes over the free kick? For the love of God, hurry it along. Still haven't taken this poxy free kick. Can you hurry up? What's he talking to VAR about? Oh, this could be a penalty against us for Virgil being a donkey. Still don't know what's happening. Like, is he going to go to the monitor or not? Yep. Ref's going to the monitor here. So Virgil will have given away a penalty with his lazy half-arsed defending again. Penalty. Well done, Virgil. Well done, you lazy clown. Yes, Virgil, you pushed him and then kicked his foot. Fucking arsehole. That's it, Virgil. Have another team meeting though, mate. Have another fucking team meeting about it. Look, I said this 5 minutes ago. All these two clowns can do is fucking push people. That's the way they defend. Look at it again. Look at this fucking clown. Defend with your feet, you fucking clown. Don't shake your head. It's your fault, you clown. Itachi said we're so bad. We're literally being bullied by Brentford. Salah needs to get... Casey needs to get on. Give him Salah's shirt. So tired of Salah now. Petulant child. I'm so tired of our two centre-backs defending with one hand into the back. That's all they can do. That's their way of defending. Canada did it 5 minutes before that. It's over and over and over again. 3-1. Penalty scored. Thiago scores at 3-1. James said we're all over the place. The real Johnny Sin said the way this second half has gone, I swear you think Brentford are the ones chasing the game. Asentino said watching Slot is like watching Brendan Rodgers. Matty Gorman said I don't want to hear about any low blocker losing the ball. Same. We need a captain that shows some fighting spirit instead of waving his arms around all the time. Don't disagree with you, Borom. Wayne, thank you. Ava Mercer said, have fun behind United while we sit lovely in the top 4. Look, mate, we deserve the banter. I'm not going to push back on you. You've every right to banter us. I'm sorry, but they're now slot out now. So Bradley's off, McAllister's on. And I can't remember who the other sub was because I didn't look up in time. Gakpo off, Bradley off, Kerkez off. McAllister on, Chiesa on, Robertson on. They're the changes. Slot must go, said M. James. Raphael Kirshner said Slot should be fired tonight. For the love of God, Arna, can we make a change now? And then, thank you, Adam, by the way. Do you think sacking a possibility after this game? I honestly don't know. I don't know what's possible and what's not after it. Szoboszlai. Out to Salah. Back to Szoboszlai. Cross in. Ball back. Second ball. Jones. I'm going to be honest, though. That penalty, whether you think it was a penalty or not, it's been coming. So, again, it's everyone's own interpretation of whether they think it's a penalty or not. But it's been coming because that's all our centre-backs do. They're so fucking lazy that they just push people. Canade did it to Thiago 2 minutes before that when he had a shot that Mamadashvili saved. It's how they think we defend. Honestly, watch all of our games back. Every single time an opposition player has the ball he's about to shoot, our centre-back thinks the way to defend it is by pushing them in the back. It's not a first and it won't be the last, and it's lazy. Sorry, where are we at? This one. No, it's this one. That was not a Penn United fan here. This is what you get when you play with no urgency, said Nessie. Slot machine is jammed, said Brian. Itachi said, change the good system for midweek just because one was crying and deleting a social media. HFMCE said, thought it was the outside the box, but Slot will use all these as excuses. Nothing right about this team. So what I don't understand about the penalty, and again, it's your own personal choice of whether you think it was or it wasn't. The ref not to go over and look at it to think whether he thought it was in or outside the box, you know. But I don't know. I feel like it'd be making excuses if I start crying about the penalty because we've just been nowhere near good enough. Salah to Szoboszlai, ball pulled back. Oh yes, we've somehow found a way to miss a sitter from 5-6 yards. 2-3 players over it, and then Salah gets his shot blocked and it's over the bar. That should have been 3-2. Oh my God, the state of that. See, that's defending, Virgil, by the way, and Canade. That's fucking defending. See that? See Collins wanting to get the blocks in, going to ground, putting their bodies on the line. That's defending. Corner in, headed away to near post, doesn't even beat the first man. Ava said, we don't think you would take that chat well from me. You're a good man, mate, actually. Knows when Liverpool doing terrible. Look, Ava, I give it and I can take it, when it's justified. And we are a laughing stock at the minute. So, you know, what can I say? I have to take it on the chin because it's deserved. And I've always said it. I love a bit of banter, and it goes both ways. I give it, I can take it, but my anger isn't with you or anybody else coming in, United fans or anybody else. But my anger is solely at our team and our manager because it's a piss take. John said, this feels like 2 signings we want last year is now just taking the money and don't give a crap. You know what, John? If you asked me last year, mate, and you said, do I think that Salah and Van Dijk would regress after signing the big contract? Every fibre of me would have said no. Every single part of me, mate, would have said no. And I don't know why they are as poor as they are at the minute, but I do know it's unacceptable. And here we are again, giving it away in midfield. And look at this lad dancing through. Look, he's still not the... Fuck me! They just look as Shada just wanders in between them. Like, they just stand there looking at him. We'll struggle for top 4 at this rate. We're crap, said HKJ Rod. How can I disagree with that one, lad? How can I disagree with that? Are you Man United in the sky, said Gooner SE third. Mate, again, we deserve the banter, so no problems with it. How can we spend all this money and be worse? It's a question, Danny, my man, I think many of us are asking ourselves. The team just has no identity. And that's, I used to laugh at Amram and Ten Hag and a few of them for having no identity. This team has absolutely no identity. There's no press. It doesn't exist. Brentford have way outpressed us in this game. We just look like headless chickens out there trying to have moments. Feck this team and the manager, said Faz Kamat. Jack Nichols said, is it bedtime yet and fast forward to next year? VVD wants to look cool, that's why. So I'd love to have been a fly in the wall for what that big meeting that Virgil had was, where he was, laying it all out there, because it worked for a few hours and now we're back to being shocking. Slot's done nothing to improve this team at halftime. Nothing. B2 Craig, said John Edinger. Ricky said, I think Slot deserves his own lettuce, just like the shite manager from the Netherlands. I mean, I might be having to go take a trip to the shop to get the old iceberg in, mate, because you're right. How long will it last? How long will he last? I don't know. But it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable to spend nearly £500 million and look this shit. And now he's bringing Rio on with 20 to go. Jones is down with an injury, so it gets better now. Jones is down with an injury. Ava said, don't worry, Craig, there's no shame in being 3-1 down to Brentford. We did it with Bayern there in goal. I appreciate your kindness, Ava, probably more than I deserve today, but look, mate, we're the defending league champions. We spent nearly £500 million, Ava. This is just a shit show. So Rio's on now, I think, for Jones. Look at that, McAllister. Plays the ball 10 yards behind Virgil and a straight pass across the pitch. And now back to the keeper from nearly the... Oh, fuck off. This is fucking nonsense. HFMCE said it's clear he's lost the players, he's got to go. Acentino said Slot should go on a permanent holiday, fire him. I still can't believe he went to Dubai, mate. You know, teams falling apart around him, we look terrible, and he goes off on his jolly bobs. The Irish Wanderer said we've got no intensity, we've no press, there's no aggression. At the end of the day, this lands on the manager's head. Yep. I agree with every single point you've made. Luke said we need an elite manager, job is too big for Slot. Darren said Slot held a winning lottery ticket last season. Nessie said Henderson is like a second coach on the pitch for them. Meanwhile, our captain just comes up with quotes of the day. I'm so furious. If Virgil comes out with one more of these, ignore the outside noise thing, he might as well just pack his bags, like, because it's fucking ridiculous. Corner in. And ball headed back in. Ekatike now. Gives it away. Trying to get the corner and then fucking loses the ball. Could have put in a cross, but no. Had to try and shield it out and wasn't even strong enough to do that. Fuck me. Salah trying to bundle his way through. He's crowded out. My 250 quid's in the bin as well. Rio overruns it. Ball goes out of play. Goal kick. George said Klopp's team won the league last year. What are we watching in Slots for a season? There's not a lot to like. Taylor said if Liverpool play like this against Villa next Saturday, we'll get put through the ringer 2 dozen times. Thundercats Litterbox, great account name by the way, said becoming clear Slot Road Klopp's team and all-time season from Salah. Salah dropped off last March and so did we. Were cooked. Steve said Slot wants Conference League so we can draw a beta. They're playing like how they did at the end of last season. Absolutely no effort given or any confidence shown. Salah looks like he's playing. Salah looks like he's playing football. I don't know what that part means. Ed said Palace will wipe the floor with us on Wednesday night. Hard to argue against that, mate. Salah thinks he's bigger than the club, said Cam. And Itachi said at this point Steven Gerrard will be no downgrade. It can't get worse. We can't even find a man. Chiesa this time just passes it straight to a Brentford player. Soboslai, he gets fouled. Free kick Liverpool. 16 to go plus stoppage time. They could restart the clock and we're still not winning this game. We're not even near it. Like Brentford deserve this victory. They've been the better side. No argument. What was that from Chiesa again? Like, free kick, Liverpool, foul on Canade. If you've seen one Liverpool game, you've seen them all. You're not wrong, Adam, to be fair. You're not wrong. Send Klopp the bat signal now, said Sean O'Neill. Disappointed but hardly surprised, said Henry Sprack. How dare you disrespect Mo? He cannot be benched. Yeah, whatever. Don't have vegetables. I have vegetables with more personality than Slot. No passion, no tactics. FSG, do what must be done and do it now, said the Bumba Dog. Salah to Chiesa. Cross in, nobody there. Rio on the far side. He 2-step overs and then forgets the ball. And then Kelleher clears it. So I seen a comment there in the chat that said, anybody who says Zach Slot is a glory hunter. I'm not really sure, mate. No, I'm not sure where I sit on all of this, but I can understand the point. You know, nothing's changing. We've not been able to tweak this game at halftime to turn it round. It's desperation stakes again. And the manager keeps doing the same shit over and over again. I mean, whilst I don't think I'm at that point, I don't think it's a ridiculous stance from people who are seeing Liverpool lose, what is it now, 5 out of the last 6. You know, that's unacceptable for a Liverpool manager, especially with the backing he's had. Corner in from Dom, Virgil header, comes back across goal. Dom volleys it straight at a Brentford player. Wirtz. Back to Chiesa, back out to Wirtz. Another aimless cross, which is cleared. Oh, Canade heads the ball up into the air, and then it's a free kick out because we jumped into the keeper. It's comical stuff, this. Absolutely comical. The Elder said, how long does Slot get, Craig? For me, 2 more games. I think it's an individual thing, mate. I'm not too far away. I've got to be honest about it. I'm probably not too far away from thinking this is more than a form thing. Because that's, I think, what it'll take for me to feel like it is definitely not on the players, it is on the manager. And there are a lot of underperforming players, but what I can't tell you is how there are that many underperforming players. If it is because of the manager, if it is because of decisions behind the scenes or something, I really don't know. But I know it isn't good enough. And that's not debatable. Salah going to play 90 again. Yet another crap performance. Has Slot surrounded himself with yes men? I don't know, but even if he has to know ultimately it's on him in the long run. Because, Salah's contract's not going to be torn up. The manager will be the one that gets fired. So this is, if he is making these decisions that are biting him in the arse, well, it's only going to impact him in the negative way. Another second ball we lost. 450 million spent and look worse for it, said James Sharp. Game and Gaz said, not manager, it's players. Disagree, Gaz. Disagree, mate. I'm not saying the players are without fault. Clearly, they've been shocking. But the manager just doesn't look like he understands what to utilise or how to utilise the players he brought in, mate. And when you keep picking the same players that keep making the same errors and expecting different things, you at some point have to think, well, they're not playing for the manager for some reason because it ain't working. It just ain't working. Guadalupe said, what do you think changed from last year? Uh, the same fight doesn't seem there. But like I said, I got given out to by people when I said in March, April, May that this switching it off and coasting because we won the league isn't good. And people said, relax, we've won the league. No, standards should be there all the time. And we haven't been right for 9 months now. And I got given out to last year for saying it. Oh, we won the league, what are you moaning about? Well, standards are important. Winning's important. It's a habit. HFMCE said, cowards, VVD, all talk, Salah finish, get out. Armando said, feels like 22, 23 all over again, flat and boring. Omar said, got to say the Premier League this season is pretty deep. Brentford, who I thought would be fighting for relegation, are a solid team. Not many easy games this year. So, what Brentford have lacked maybe in star power, they've absolutely made up for in fight and determination and good coaching. As I said, I don't know what we are trying to play. I don't know what style of football this is. I really just don't. Lewis said, worst player of the match award in your opinion? Probably Kerkez, but Salah, for the few bits and pieces he has done, has just gone backwards as well. But no, what I'm going to say Virgil, actually. I'm going to go for a captain. Oh, yeah, that's it, Salah. 4! Be careful, Salah shot might drop on your heads any minute. Joe Gomez now coming on for Wirtz. Metallica fan said, this season's been terrible. Honestly, I'm done with Slot. He needs to go now. LFC Drew said, Craig, come on, we've got to sack him. It's not my decision, dude. Oh, nearly 4 there as Canade ball watching and another man gets in ahead of him. Pearson76 said, I know it's no excuse with the manager, but sounds like the players want Klopp back. I don't know, but look, how can I argue against anybody who's unhappy? You've all every right to be unhappy. You've every right to be angry. I'm not going to push back on that. Third time to say this week, underbelly, no fight. Said Jay, and thank you, or Joey. Thank you, Joey, for your support, mate. Arsenal FC, not Arteta FC. Wish my fans had standards like yours. Arteta out. Well, they're doing all right this season, bro. Oh, there we go. Just felled them, lads. That'll do it. Just felled them. 4 Prem games on the bench. I think out Slot, said Darren. Asentino said, we are 4 goals beyond the 80th minute from having 8 to 10 losses. People questioning if we should consider firing Slot is comical. Glasner in. Larry Footy said, maybe Johnny Heidinger was the tactical genius. Remember Mourinho struggling after he lost his assistant too. Russian Honey Badger said, Craig, respectfully, when will you open your eyes and say Arne isn't the man for the future? I'd be behind him if we were losing. I've seen progress and the style. So, mate, I don't know why you're having a pop at me, because all I've said is I understand everybody's anger. I'm still processing things. So, I've never called for a manager to be fired. since I've made content. So, I'm trying not to be rash. Do you not think inside, mate, my head's saying sack him, sack him, sack him, sack him? Of course, inside my head's fucking fuming with it. But I need to process it a little bit more and just think things through. But, please don't have a pop at me about it, dude. It's not my decision to make. Gomez ball in, drops the Chiesa, who passes it straight to another Brentford player. Fuck me. Jane said, Brentford have chemistry, we don't. Miracle Aligner said, I'm in France and the commentators say they do not understand slots formation and choices. They literally said 2 minutes ago that the players seem lost and clueless. Love from France. Well, the commentators aren't wrong, dude. The goals we concede is Sunday level as well, Sunday league level. The real Johnny Sin said, Salah has lost the most duels of any player. Thank you for that stat, mate, because it's good to know these things, and genuinely it kind of matches up with what you've seen. Just no fight, no effort, 4 minutes to go. I'm about to be 250 quid down as well for backing Salah to score. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting match reaction, let's just put it that way. Mohamed said, whole lot of possession, no creativity. Mall UK said, I just want to ask, what is your limit before you say enough is enough and he needs to go? Honestly, I wouldn't say I'm a million miles away. But, I'll have my say in the match reaction. Don't worry. I'm still processing these things in my mind. But, of course, I'm not happy, same as everybody else. Maka, Soboslai, out to Salah. As in another one of those hit and hope crosses that aren't aimed anywhere except roughly into the penalty area. Owen Dunn said, not one to jump ship or want managers out, but Slot has either no clue what he's doing or he's ignorant and stubborn. Get him out. The lineups are disgraceful. Steve Aldersey, how are we, Steve? Said, I need Arner to slam his performance and fix it. Sacked in the morning, said scratching claimers. World Pro Tech said, what the actual fuck? Frankfurt formation worked. Why switch back to the losing one? And why is Salah playing the 90 again? There he is. There's Salah's goal. There's me win. Sorry, I celebrate that because I just won a lot of money. So, apologies for yay, but, I'm obviously still pissed off, but I just won a lot of money. So, and if you don't believe me, there's my bet. I just won 550 quid. Well, 300 quid profit from that. And thankfully it was a good finish. But yeah, so at least I got my bet up. It's a good finish, but still doesn't change anything. We're not good enough. Good finish from O. Good control. Right foot half volley. In off the underneath of the bar. But unless we pull this out in the last minute or two, it's still not good enough. The Hill said, are we watching Liverpool or Norwich? I don't know, mate. I have no idea what Norwich are like this season. Are they this bad? Brentford still on the attack. Cross in. Oh, diving header over the bar. We nearly conceded another one. But it's okay, though, because our centre-back look cool. Jeremy's, well, thank you. Can't understand what's going on. So many underperformances. No identity. Do you think Arna lost the changing room? I'm starting to wonder. That's one part that I feel I'm closer to saying yes to than the firing part. But I guess the two are going to go hand in hand, don't they? You know, if he has lost the changing room, how are you giving? He just fucking guessed at that. He guessed. The referee and the lino just looked at each other and guessed. But he's right. It was a corner. It did go off McAllister, so it is the right decision. Too many big players bought in an unsettled squad, said Liam Clark. Well, certainly hasn't settled, Liam. You're right on that one, mate. Tide Pods said all the points, just bench the entire team. At this point, excuse me, just bench the entire team and bring in the juniors to play the rest of the season. Corner in. And this could potentially be another penalty, by the way, against us. And if it is, I think it's Virgil again. But let's wait and see. Head injury here. 7 minutes was added on by the ref. But let's have a look. Yeah, Virgil arm into the face of Thiago, or into the side of his face. Wouldn't be surprised if this is given as a penalty. If and when Slot goes, which I don't think will be long, who would you want in? We've tactically no idea under this manager. Off the top of my head, Iriola, but so we had 7 minutes of stoppage time. There's been 1 played with about 6 to go before this break. So let's wait and see what happens. Could be a penalty, by the way. Like I said, Virgil jumped up and I was arming to the side of the face. I'd be surprised if he's not asked to look at the monitor here. Charlie Duck said, am I the only one embarrassed at this point? No, I think we're all embarrassed, annoyed and frustrated, bro. Necromancer said, hey Craig, love watching the channel. Unlucky tonight. Thank you for your support, mate. Real Rel said, another weekend ruined. Yep. Again, I'm right with you, mate. Another weekend absolutely ruined. H. Clarison said, just got home from work. Not the result I was hoping to see, but I almost expected it, sadly. It is a sad state of affairs when we aren't surprised by it, isn't it, mate? Martin said, I think the backroom team are not up to scratch. Well, I would say the whole coaching team at this point is questionable. Jay Braskell said, you think Slot has nerfed this team, play too slow? Yeah, like I keep saying, whatever we're trying to do, it isn't working. And I don't understand what I'm looking at. Like, why are we passing the ball around the back line? It's absolute nonsense. There's just no intensity, no fight in that defence. It's all too casual. And that starts from the captain. P76 said, it's just not the 5 losses out of the past 6 games is bad, but for me, it's clear what Slot is doing to, it's not clear what Slot is doing to improve us. We've been muck for a while now. Yes, we have, mate. You're right. If Slot hadn't thrown every attacking player he'd have on the bench, be behind, would we have won a single game this year? Maybe not. We certainly haven't played well, and that's the part I want to keep coming back to. Results or whatever, they're great when you get the wins, but we haven't put in performances. We haven't had one good, solid performance this season. Not one. You can talk about midweek, but they were terrible. They were lambs to the slaughter. Take it from somebody who supports a superstar-filled rugby team. These superstar teams rarely work. The fight and desire lacks a lot of the time. Well, we're certainly seeing a lot of that fight and desire, mate. Shane Bennett said, unsettled, no heart to fight. What the actual fuck? Just me. Felt like Klopp wants back. Well, I said during the week I'd take Klopp back, and I'd say it again now. If Klopp got on the phone to John W. Henry and said, John, I want back in, I'd take him tomorrow. And I said this during the week, so this isn't just reactionary to this result. Gary Mackay, 65-70. And by the way, we've got about 2.5 minutes plus whatever the ref adds on of stoppage time to go. Last season should be easy with the players Liverpool have, but now it's gone so wrong. Doesn't matter how talented, if you play with a lack of consistency, it doesn't matter. A lack of intensity as well, mate, and fight. That's what baffles me. This cool arse, half-assed, one arm out defending, too cool to go to ground, too cool to put your body in the way and get blocks in. Just, it's not good enough. Darren said, Villa beat us and Slot is gone. Trust me. Real Rel said, bring in Klopp for the rest of the season, then get Iriola or Glasner in the summer. And O Signal said, you're handling this with a lot of class. It helps. Thanks. It's because, how do I say this? Me getting angry at people wouldn't help at this point. Me getting snotty at fans coming in bantering us wouldn't help, because everything we're getting we deserve. Every comment about the manager is deserved. Every comment about the performances are deserved. And I hold high standards. I've said this for years. I said it at the end of last season when we were coasting. It isn't good enough. But my anger is aimed at the manager and the players, not at you guys or opposition club fans who come in to banter. They're perfectly within their rights to do that, and that's the game I'm in. So I'm trying to take it with a bit of class, because I don't want to be angry at the wrong people. I keep saying I love and respect all of you, and I'm very grateful for the life and platform you've given me. But make no mistake about it, I'm absolutely fuming at this, and I'll have my say in the match reaction. Another Brentford corner. Intensity, passion, brotherhood and fight is all gone. It's individual schoolboy errors and a lack of dynamism and bravery from the manager that have lost us this game. And look, I want to say one more thing. Let's credit Brentford as well. Because, it's easy for us and right for us as Liverpool fans to look inwardly and moan. And we've every right to moan. But let's give Brentford some credit as well, because they wanted it more. From the very first minute, they wanted it more. And they had a plan. Well, do I have the Toronto Blue Jays to root for now? This is sad, though, for the Reds. Yep, it is. It's now at the discretion of the referee. And we can't even find a teammate. Szoboszlai just passed it behind our own player and out for a throw in. Imagine Jose Mourinho comes to Anfield. Well, he's just taken over as Benfica coach, to be fair. I'm LFC all my life, but this is not right. You're right, Darren. Of course, mate. You're right. It isn't right. Look at this shit. Like, we're just swinging legs at balls here. There's just no cohesion, no effort, no nothing. It's just randomly fucking throwing balls forward and hoping for the best. Vibes FC is what we look like. Corner to Liverpool. Ref said, it's the first time I've seen this, by the way. Ref said Kelleher held the ball too long and gave us a corner. It's the first time I've seen a referee do that. The new rule. We weren't all laughing when it was happening. We were all laughing when it was happening to City last season. This formation is killing us. No DM. Kerkez is a scared boy. Terrible. No passion. Again, I can't disagree, Bri. I did laugh last season when it was City. 100% did. That's why I'm trying to take it with a bit of grace now when the banter's coming our way, because we deserve that banter. Corner in, and he doesn't beat the fucking first man. That's unforgivable. Unfucking forgivable. Corner at the end of the game, and Szoboszlai doesn't beat the first man with it. Fuck's sake. Gomez with the throw in. Ball hooked away by Brentford. Again, just hopeful at this point, pumping balls long. VVD heads it down. Salah. Good ball. Ping pong in there, hooked away again by Brentford. It's desperate stuff here at the end from us, but Brentford defending, holding their line. Again, another ball lumped forward. We're way over the added on time now. Ref still playing it. Get the fucking ball into the box. Salah at the far post. Ball's up in the air. Chiesa. Oh my God. Ping pong ball everywhere. Dom hits it. Oh, Kelleher saves it. We could have 3 chances there to score in the last 30 seconds. Fuck's sake. It's over. Brentford beat us by 3-2. Deservedly beat us. Liverpool's slump in the Premier League continues. Arne Slot yet again has no answers, and we have, as fans, plenty of questions. Saunders said Slot needs to go, man. Dutch managers can't coach. The Emir said 2011-12 team played better when we were losing. Save of the Flavour said Aspinall about ends in no content, knuckle deep in an eye. Galileo said all Arne had to do was not use the old system again. Kevin Real 21 said, I didn't realise how bad it was until I saw the table. Our goal difference, our goals conceded, and worst of all, Manchester United being above us. Rob McKenna said, Palace, Villa and Real Madrid to come. Tough run. Good day from Sydney, Australia. Watching on with my son, Finns and Henry. We'll love to your sons, Finn and Henry, and yourself, Rob. Sorry we had to sit, you guys had to sit through that crap again, but thank you for your support. Ryan said, by the way, Salah's goal was pure luck. He slashed at it. I don't care, mate. It wouldn't be a load of dough, so I'll take it. Sad days. Everybody putting their money on Arsenal. City will win it. Nightmare. AMC7 said, we've battered Amram for his system at United. It's time we talk about Slot and his system. Yeah, that's fair. Congrats to past Reds, Creevy Kelleher and Jordan Henderson. Thank you, John Erdinger. Look, ladies and gentlemen, we deserve any banter that you want to put our way. You know, I'm a content creator who gives it, and I'm happy to take it when it's deserved. Our manager and our team are clueless. It's up to each individual person when they've had too much, but I ain't far away, and I'm going to have my say in the match reaction. I've bit my tongue and tried to be, you know, focusing on your comments throughout the game to give you a chance to have your say, but I'm going to unleash in this match reaction, and I'll see you guys in 60 seconds or so for it. It'll auto-direct you there. If you've enjoyed the stream, I'd really appreciate if you hit the subscribe button. We are closing in on 355,000. 100 to go. If you could help us out, that would really mean a lot. I really do appreciate your support as much as it's a shit show. And I just want you to know, thank you for being here with me, for me. And I'll see you guys in the match reaction. Flynn said, should have gone 4-4-2 with Chiesa. Journalist, another poor performance. What's your response, Slot? The low block and long passes did us in again, mate. Time to take a trip to Dubai. LFC last year lost 5 Premier League games in a row. 1953. Yep, 1953, Mike. Somebody mentioned that to me in our live show in Liverpool as well. Ladies and gents, I'll see you guys in the match reaction where I promise you I'm going to have my say. Much love to you all and thank you for your support.